you know Mark Wood?
Oh, interesting. He's come out at number 8, number 9.
England bowler quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal guy. Of course. Except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse. What?
Interesting. Promoted above Stuart Broad, which... fair enough, I guess. Mark Wood's shown some spirit with the bat in his England career thus far. Certainly has some quite nice shots through the offside and plays a sort of leave, which again, Hassan Ali's getting bounced from whichever end he's bowling from. There's some bounce from the pavilion and now, and Sarfraz took that in front of his face and as Wood left outside off stump, there is no run.
I wonder if that has been changed, because I would say Wood is a better defensive batsman than Broad. Broad has probably got more of a chance to get a quick 50, 30, 20.
I think Wood's... you may be right, but
I think so. I think his technique is currently better.
I think so, but Mark Wood, I think he likes a cover drive. This is a good Yorker from Hassan Ali, which is well kept out, in fairness, by Wood. Just blocks that out into the offside, and there is no run. Hassan Ali bowling at decent pace here and getting the ball to move both ways. He's going to be a handful, and so far has justified his selection ahead of Rahat Ali, who in helpful conditions at Malahide was a little bit disappointing. Alistair Cook, the only man for England to pass 50, made 70 before being bowled with an absolute cracker from Mohammad Ahmed that just came in and then left him slightly at the end, holding his line to take off stump. In comes Hassan Ali, back of a length, edged down past the man at fourth slip really, who's in there now. There's 4 slips in place for Mark Wood, who is off the mark. It was, in fact, it's a leg by. I think that's it's come off his. I don't know what that came off. In fact, his hip or his shirt or something. But 4 leg bys past Gully. Back thigh pad, in fact. Always going over the top of the stumps. Hassan Ali getting that bounce that we've been talking about. Just flicked off the thigh pad. Mark Wood done for pace there as well as movement. Hassan can count himself a little bit unlucky. That's why it bounced well short of the man at 4th slip. Mark Wood on strike. In comes Hassan Ali. A little bit of outswing too wide, and Wood can leave through to Sarfraz. There is no run.
Anwar Khan tells us that Pakistan is doing a Pakistan at the home of cricket.
How so?
Well, I don't know. So they've kind of like made this little burst of excitement. Well, I suppose England's doing a Pakistan as well.
Was England doing in England?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cricket's doing its cricket.
Yeah, everyone's got stereotypes about their own team.
Yeah.
Everyone assumes that they're... I think England and Pakistan fans really do outdo each other for pessimism. Last ball of the over. That was on a collision course in Midland leg stump. Delicious in-swinger from Hassan Ali, which Mark Wood somehow squirted a bat down on and takes the single. He will be on strike. He's got off the mark on 1, but excellent over from Hassan Ali. The third after lunch, after Mohammad Abbas took a wicket at in the second after lunch, and England are 169 for 7.
It's a hell of a situation for Best to come in and make his debut, isn't it?
It's
really,
he's a kid.
He's a kid, but
he's got a chance now.
Great.
He's got a chance to make himself not quite the hero, but he's got a chance to.
He's got nothing to lose
to help England get out of the hole.
Absolutely nothing to lose.
I did hear an interview with him this morning on another broadcaster.
173 for 7. Apologies.
And I just loved his attitude. It's just like, yeah, this is great. I'm here. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to have some fun.
Good.
That is the attitude to have.
And he didn't sound at all scripted, as it so often get with
Mark Wood has a similar sort of attitude to his cricket, as this is back of a length from Abbas, and Wood plays that quite nicely out into the covers off the back foot. So gets himself 2, and Bess is back on strike to face his second ball in Test cricket.
If Bess gets out for a duck, it doesn't matter, does it? It's like, oh, well, he's young, it's his debut, blah, blah, blah.
Well...
You know,
I mean, it does up to a point, but you can't put any more pressure on yourself than is already on you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things that he's going to, if he gets out for a duck, people aren't expecting him to do anything, are they?
Well, I mean, you don't pick a... You don't.
No, but the general public.
Well, he's coming out at number 8 though, so I guess you do expect him to get something. It sets up very deep in his crease to Mohammad Abbas, which might not be the smartest move. I guess he's not entirely comfortable coming too far out of his crease, even against a bowler of Mohammad Abbas's sort of reasonable but not express pace, as this is just blocked from the crease to back to the bowler. There is no run.
Through my glasses, and obviously it isn't, but the logo on the umpire's shirt sleeve looks like the Guerilla Cricket logo from there.
You didn't know about that?
I don't think we're sponsoring the umpires, are we?
I don't know. We are back on YouTube, by the way, though, so I'm going to try and just refresh that stream on the iPad there. And if there's any comments that have been left, again, Best sets up deep in his crease, goes exaggeratedly back and across, then a little bit of a forward press as well, just into the leave there, and there is no run. Abbas just hanging that one outside off stump. I wonder if any Somerset fans can enlighten us as to what Best's style is like. We see he's a relatively fast scorer in first-class cricket, and he does, as we say, have a first-class 100 to his name.
Breaking news.
Yes.
After this next one.
In comes Abbas, fourth ball of the over, up to the crease now and bowls, and Dom Bess does not have his first run in Test cricket. Mohammad Amir is stationed there at forward square leg and fields, and there is no run.
Breaking news, Guerilla Cricket. Hendo's stone. Hendo's kidney stone. I'm back. We'll be listening more from tomorrow. Busy schedule today, opening a local gentrio-urinary clinic. A kidney stone's work is never done.
Ah.
Ooh.
That's very enterprising of you, Mr. Stone. In comes Mohammad Abbas up to the wicket now. Bowls outside off stump, and Best trying to force through the offside. Gets a bottom edge on the bounce to third slip, and there is no run. Best looking a little bit shaky and nervy and a bit choppy, but which is understandable, I guess. His breathing will slow down a bit, one imagines, when he gets that first run finally. Mark Wood's having a laugh with Rod Tucker at the umpire at the non-striker zone, which is good to see. The umpires in this game are Rod Tucker and Paul Rifle. Bruce Oxenford, the third umpire. Jeff Crow is the match referee, and the reserve umpire is the Englishman Rob Bailey. Last ball of the over, outside off stump. Bess has a flirt. Bess has an unsuccessful flirt. The ball turns him down. Through to the keeper. Another good over from Hassan Ali. Mohammad Abbas, 174 for 7.
Martin White. I've not been able to listen today. Are we in Hendo rant territory yet? Hendo stormed off in a big old wet huff about 20 minutes ago, right?
Yeah,
we don't know whether we'll see him again. Stay tuned.
Weirdly, his one rant today was about esports.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about people watching people playing games.
Professional video gaming. Seems an odd thing to get angry about.
It wasn't the gaming, it was the people watching the gamers play, wasn't it? That's what he was ranting about.
Hassan Ali in bowls from mid-crease, a little bit of an outswinger, nicely played by Wood and nicely fielded by Imam at backward point, who's done some good work today. He flung himself away to his left there and has probably saved 3 runs, because Wood did obviously take the single. There's no point trying to 8 and 9 really trying to protect each other at this stage of the innings, but Wood looked in reasonable control of that, just opening the face, and good work from Imam. Technical
issue. Knackle, I can't get this the comments to come up on this.
Pass me the thing.
I'll pass you the thing, and I can't get it to go to twist.
Yeah, that one I've been struggling with all day as well for some reason. Okay. I wonder if it's just the YouTube app on the iPad. Anyway, you don't need to know all this, listeners. In comes Hassan Ali, right arm over. Dom Bess goes deep in his crease and forces, just opens the face on the bounce to gully, and there is no run. 3 slips in the gully in place for the right-handed Dominic Bess, who is England's latest in a long line of number 8s. And a long line of spinners, indeed. I think it's now 11 spinners since Graham Swan and 11 openers since Strauss.
No. 11 spinners since Swan, really?
Apparently.
We had Ali for such a long time.
In comes Hassan Ali, back of a length, and Bess seems more comfortable when the ball's on the stumps, and just pushes this back to the bowler, and there is no run. So we've got the thing. The chat is here. The comments are here.
Mark Zip.
We haven't had any yet because this is a new stream. But yeah, you can leave us a comment on YouTube. I'll share out the stream again for you, or we'll try and do that on Twitter. I'll do that on Twitter now, actually. We take comments via whatever medium, including email sometimes when we can remember to read them. Outside off stump and left alone by Dom Bess. Had a thought about an expansive square cut. Luckily for him, he decided against it in the end, through to the keeper, and there is no run.
Mark Zip writes to us from Woodstock, which is where I used to have a house. The crew setting up the tent for a huge Memorial Day weekend in Woodstock are from Jamaica. They dig the coverage of England versus Pakistan. I'll have to listen more before we're giving them money, though. No, just give us money. Give us money now.
Hello, Zip and crew. Outswinger left alone by Dom Bess. Again, shapes as though to cover drive, but leaves it well enough outside off stump. Through to the keeper, there is no run. Bess not yet off the mark. Mark Wood on 3. England 175 for 7. Hassan Ali, the main destroyer, 3 for 46. With Abbas and Amir and Ashraf also impressive.
Who was the producer I knew who used to live in Woodstock? Produced the Pet Shop Boys, Stephen.
Oh God, yeah.
Haig?
Yeah, Steve Hagen.
Do you know him?
Not really, no.
No. Okay.
Mohamed Amir is sort of warming up out there on the leg side. Dom Bess is finally off the mark as a test cricketer. Onto his pads, just works this around the corner to Mohamed Abbas at long leg. Unless that's been given leg byes. No, it has not been given leg byes. So Dom Bess, off his 11th ball in test cricket, is off the mark. England 176 for 7 after 57 overs.
He's very happy, young
This
boy.
is a smiley pair of cricketers.
Yeah.
Mark Wood and Dom Bess.
Lovely
I
little,
like him.
lovely little smile there from Dom Bess. I think Wood's doing most of the talking between these two.
I think they're going to be pretty chatty between them. I mean, they seem like a good bunch of lads. I like them.
We like them.
Yeah. We approve of this selection.
Yeah, we're huge fans of Mark Wood on the show. We were huge fans of Jack Leach, actually, who would have been playing in this game before he got injured. We love a cricketer in glasses. What's not to love? As the slips settle down, as a bus will continue from the nursery end outside off stump. A little bit of movement in off the seam, but mostly after it passed the stumps through to Surfraz, and there is no run.
Well,
He got 100 versus against Essex.
yeah, and 92 versus against Hampshire.
Oh, so he can he's proper.
Yeah, it's swung. He seems to be certainly very comfortable with anything on his pads and flicks this in delightful fashion to mid-wicket for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a gorgeous shot from Bess against a bowler who averages now about 17 in Test cricket. Just a little bit of a stride forward, braced his front knee, and full face of the bat, and away it went through the gap. Maybe Mohamed Abbas will have to change his line to target more of a just outside off stump line to see how Bess is with the ball out there. Abbas, I think, going for a sort of a magic delivery that starts on middle and does something remarkable. How will he follow up? He'll go outside off stump and edge, and he did go outside off stump, and it's well caught again by Asad Shafiq down low to his left. Dom Bess has looked nervier outside off stump than when it was straight. That was a firm-footed push by firm-handed push by Dominic Bess. The feet went nowhere, just a little bit of outswing, took the edge. England 180 for 8. Dominic Bess caught by Asad Shafiq, bowled Mohamed Abbas for 5. England 180 for 8, having won the toss and elected to bat on the first morning of the first test at Lords.
Oh, well.
A lot of swearing by Dominic Bess at himself, by the way.
Yes.
As he was coming off there, it was like some good sort of...
What are you doing?
I don't think there was actually any words.
And Mohamed Abbas celebrated at the slip cordon.
Yes, and that was nice. I'm liking this. I'm liking the spirit of this game. Not liking the fact there's so many wickets going down and the lack of runs. I'm happy about that. There's lots of talk about bowling partnerships have got 20 wickets in a match.
Well, I saw one that was tweeted in Laker and Locke.
Of course, yeah, that was an obvious one. Karachi, Fazal Mahmood, and Karma Mohammed.
Okay.
And Lords in 72, Bob Massey and Dennis Lilly. 16 for Massey, 4 for Lilly.
That's right, Bob Massey on a day where the ball was swinging round corners at Lords.
Which is amazing because they didn't used to cheat with the ball in those days. Oh, actually they did.
They cheated far more than they ever have done now. So having been demoted below Mark Wood, Stuart Broad lopes out to the middle. He was at batting at number 10. He's grinning at Mark Wood as well, so it's all smiles out there for the bowlers who are thinking, why didn't we get given a chance on this? They may yet.
Stuart Broad in it.
It's the man that's in.
I wonder how long before they bowl the bouncer. We didn't really see many bouncers in Malahide. It was weirdly it was Rahat Ali who was seemed to be assigned to bowl bouncers at Malahide. Mostly trying to bowl cross seam to rough the ball up for reverse swing. Mohammad Abbas has come immediately round the wicket to Stuart Broad. It's on a length, angling into off stump. Broad slices across this and gets it off a thick outside half of the bat to short extra cover. There is no run.
Any tweets?
What are the Twitter sphere making of this?
No twittering going on.
No
You can
Twitter,
tweet
yeah.
us.
Come on, tweets.
We can tweet us, people, at Guerilla Cricket with your thoughts on this game, cricket, life, anything. Two men back on the hook. One of them long leg. One of them at sort of backward square leg, about halfway to the boundary, or maybe 3/4 of the way back to the boundary. Huge WW appeal from Mohammad Abbas and given.
You're gone, mate.
Stuart Broad.
But is Stuart Broad going to do
Stuart
it?
Broad going nowhere. Back to a fullish delivery. They're not even going to bother reviewing it, I don't think.
Stuart Broad.
Or as Mark Wood told him, come back and review it. We've got 2 wickets left and 2 reviews. Stuart Broad said, I'm not going to bother.
I think that's the first LBW that Stuart Broad's been given out to that he has not.
You have to wonder, with 2 wickets left, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's out.
Oh, that's
I mean, it's out.
That's the outest out. Unlike my LBW at the weekend.
Yeah, that was outside off.
I need TV for that.
Outside off stump. Seamed in to Stuart Broad, I think down the hill. Trapped him on the knee roll. He was going nowhere. It was hitting the middle and leg, possibly leg. And Stuart Broad gone for a second ball duck, and that brings Jimmy reverse sweep Anderson to the crease.
Mike Mihal Wood writes, the Cricket Info wicket alert sound is fast becoming the Summer 218's version of BBC Celebrity Notification in 216. It's also about 5 seconds faster than Guerilla Cricket, giving a sense of dull inevitability to their commentary of every England wicket. That's sad.
Dull inevitability, I think. Absolute terror if you're an England fan.
Yeah.
And absolute.
Well, no, it's dull. It's dull.
Where are all those Pakistani fans, by the way, now who were complaining about the fact that there's no express pace on this side? Hassan Ali's bowling close to 90 miles an hour.
They've looked pretty good.
Yeah, you don't need to be express pace. I mean, Wahab Riaz is a very exciting bowler, but he wasn't always a wicket taker.
Jimmy Anderson walks to the wicket, an average of just over 9.
Yeah. See this. Seamed in, hit him in front of our stump, taken out the top and middle stump.
And they were going to review it.
Well, the only reason they were going to review it is because they had 2 wickets left and still have 2 reviews, but that was absolutely dead. It was not a difficult decision for the umpire. And Mohammad Abbas picks up yet another LBW. He's now 4 for 23. Can get himself on the Lord's Honours Board in his first test at Lord's, which would be quite something. I wonder how many bowlers have done that in their first ever test at Lord's.
There you go, Twitter.
Go on Twitter. Find out.
How many overseas bowlers have got themselves on the Honours Board the first time they bowled at Lord's? Anderson facing up, 3 slips and a gully in place. Already a 4th slip. In comes Abbas, outside off stump. Anderson leaves. He'll be happy if that's outside off stump. Of course, there's any chat that's going to happen is from Jimmy Anderson, who's just grumpy. Mohammad Abbas smiles back at him, says, "I've got 4 for 23. You can't bat. What are you doing, son?" England 180 for 9.
The Cricket Info wicket alert is going off so often on my phone that the Morse code just spelled, "Geez, we're crap," says Matt Searle.
There's been some good bowling, in fairness, but there have been a couple of firm-footed, ill-advised drives, particularly from Butler and Bess. And
Root as well.
Well, yeah, Root, I think, was the worst of the lot.
Yeah.
There's been good bowling, but all I can say about England's batting is that Cook looked a bit solid.
Well, Cook, Stoneman and Milan all got good balls. Stokes and Broad went back to balls they should have gone forward to. Playing Mohammad Abbas from deep in the crease, I think, is not a good idea. Hassan Ali is contending. Maybe Ahmed won't even be needed. In swing, a lovely shot from Mark Wood. It wasn't a half volley by any means, but he's just put the full face of the bat there, and that has dribbled up towards the long off boundary.
Hey!
Oh! The man did all the work coming back from long on to mid on, rather. Mohamed Ahmed chased that all the way back from mid on, got to the ball, forgot to pick it up. Mark Wood has 4.
Yes, that was quite funny.
That was the attempt of someone who's trying to protect their knee. He got to the ball, leant down, and just didn't pick up the ball at all.
Just put your foot in front of it, mate.
That was old man fielding. That's the sort of thing I do.
And then hurdle the rope for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, why do you have to hurdle the boundary sponge? It's not going to hurt you.
Well, I think he was just falling over and happened to fall over it.
Right.
Hassan Ali bouncer. Mark Wood tries to pull and what a catch that is at long on.
Great catch.
Mohamed Ahmed, having not picked the ball up that was almost stationary, has taken a diving catch backwards to his left. Worked that one out. He flung himself to his left, was a couple of feet off the ground, heels in the air. Says he didn't see the ball, but it doesn't matter if you if you don't see the ball when you can take a catch like that. Mark Wood is out. Jimmy Anderson is not out. England bowled out for 184, having elected to bat on the first morning at Lords. It's a very good catch from Mohamed Ahmed.
Very good catch.
So Hassan Ali and Mohammad Abbas have 4 wickets each. Fahim Ashraf and Mohamed Ahmed have 1 wicket each. Alistair Cook, the only England batsman to pass 70. In fact, should we pass 50? 40, in fact, should we in fact get the scorecard up and we can run through the rather sorry tale of the tape as the Pakistanis walk off very, very pleased with their day's work. So Faraz Ahmed said he would have bowled. I didn't think it was a terrible decision to bat first, but in the face of some good bowling, England really haven't seemed to be able to combat it, with the exception of Alistair Cook.
Oh, that was it's just
We're so excited.
it's like watching England, isn't it? You know, it's just like watching England every bloody time.
So
June.
So if we go through the scorecard, Alistair Cook bowled Ahmed for 70, Mark Stoneman bowled Abbas for 4, Joe Root caught Sarfraz bowled Hassan for 4, David Milan caught Sarfraz bowled Hassan for 6, Johnny Bairstow bowled Fahim for 27. I'll try and get you the rest of the scorecard as it's just gone off the screen that we have been provided generously. Ben Stokes LBW to Mohamed Abbas for 38, Joss Butler caught Asad Shafiq bowled Hassan Ali for 14. Dom Bess caught Asad Shafiq bowled Mohamed Abbas for 5. Mark Wood caught Mohamed Ahmed bowled Hassan Ali for 7. Stuart Broad LBW to Mohamed Abbas for 0. Jimmy Anderson not out. The bowling figures: Mohamed Ahmed 14 overs 3 maidens 1 for 41. Mohamed Abbas 14 overs 7 maidens 4 for 23. His extraordinary start to Test cricket continues. Hassan Ali 15.2 overs 2 maidens 4 for 51. Fahim Ashraf 9 overs 2 maidens 1 for 28. Shadab Khan, the only disappointment, 6 overs no maidens none for 34. There's still plenty of time for England to get themselves back into this game if they can get some early inroads into the Pakistan top order in this we've got 2 hours or more to for England to bowl at the top order.
No, it's bollocks, mate. They just back bollocks. It was. I'm very disappointed yet again in England performance. It was like comfortably 4 wickets that really shouldn't have.
So
especially Root.
Well, I think Root. I think probably Butler and Bess, and I mean Wood towards the end. You know.
Well, that's fine. But
so Cook, Stoneman, Milan done by really good balls.
Bairstow was all solid, and he was there. And
Bairstow was a good ball, it did just enough.
But he's bloody Bairstow. He should be able to deal with that.
Sometimes you get a good ball. The only difference is that he was in when he got his good ball. Mohamed Ahmed, the ball that he got cooked with was excellent. Stoneman and Milan, sometimes you're going to get good balls early on.
I think Milan's not so much. Stoneman definitely. Even though I'm not a big fan of Stoneman playing in the Test side at the moment, I think
there wasn't a lot he could have done with it.
I don't think many people would have done this.
Stokes and Bess went back to balls they should have been forward to. Stokes and Broad went back to balls they should have been forward to. Bess drove at one he shouldn't have. And too many mistakes from an England side that should really be put in the
a bit of work in, trying to put a shift in.
Yeah,
and
Pakistan didn't bowl brilliantly. They bowled well.
They
didn't,
well, it's okay. It was okay.
But England were 165 for 5 at tea, and so lost their last 5.
Oh, really? 5 for 24?
There was 5 for 24 in 6.2 overs after tea.
Not good enough.
I blame Nessie Boy for coming in, jinxing everything, and probably myself.
It's always my fault.
Yeah, I think we should take responsibility.
If you want to do so, then you are perfectly entitled to do so.
I am responsible for the demise of English cricket.
Yeah, it was you, brother. Hang on, people may probably writing in. They're probably moaning and complaining.
Yeah, shall we get to their complaints?
Let's get to that. Shock news! Greenish top, overcast conditions, world-class bowlers and poor batting combine to cause collapse. Yeah, you did it. Oh, you should actually be commentating, Tony Bishop. Swing both ways. So there's a YouTube feed. I'm liking that I can get the audio direct off the GC webpage. No more phone data consumption. Yeah,
the player on our site works very well.
Pillsbury Atta.
I've tweeted out the YouTube link from the Guerilla Cricket account, by the way.
Which is Atta Pillsbury. Won't worry much if I were you. Lords has actually been England's start of the series donation centre.
Yeah. It's true. They have a much worse record at Lords than touring sides do.
Tony Amadeo.
Amadeo.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think he's from Raleigh in North Carolina, if I remember correctly.
This is getting too familiar, he writes. Swing it both ways. Would have thought the convo would have been about Butler in the team. Should he be keeping? But general batting crappiness will win out. I think he should not be keeping unless Bairstow bats for, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours. Oh, hold on. We've got people with... Oh, the bailiffs are here.
I would have had Butler keeping and Bairstow just as a batsman, personally.
There's an argument for that. Or keep it a floating keeper.
Would take the gloves off, but you have like a rotating keeper depending on the state of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, if Bairstow bats for a day and a half, you don't want him keeping.
It's an interesting idea. So who's coming out? Who's coming out?
Someone has to stay. Who wants to stay?
I don't care.
I did 2 stints. I did 2 stints before then, so I will.
I'm fine.
I will. Sorry, on air production as ever. Things that should be off air happen on air, and sometimes vice versa. I will make way for not Fred Titmus, and you will be in the capable hands of Men with Ven and the Bear.
But you can do your bit first of all. I'm just going to do something that.
Okay. Well, my thoughts on England. Well, it was shit, wasn't it?
You fucking shit.
It was fucking shit. There's a couple of good balls in there, some poor mistakes though, and we find ourselves having decided to bat 100. Was it 187?
I think England only made one mistake actually today.
What was that? Turning up?
No, deciding to bat.
Well, there is that. 184.
184. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the England bowlers can do. As Knackle just said, I accidentally caught some of his commentary. I don't think the Pakistanis bowled all that brilliantly, actually.
No,
they bowled reasonably well.
The pitch has certainly been quite helpful.
Yeah, there's been swing, there's been seam movement, there's been bounce. There's been a lot going on, and it's obviously not a decent first innings score, but it may be a competitive one, and I think the next 2 hours, or an hour and 3/4, are going to tell us how this game is going to go. If Pakistan can only lose, I don't know. Certainly, if they lose 2 wickets, they'll be very much on top.
God,
if they lose 3 wickets,
it's on as even.
Well, no, probably England need to take 4 wickets. I would think to be on as even.
You reckon? Well, it depends what they get them for.
Well,
it really?
And it depends how many runs they score. I mean, there's still a lot of overs left in the day.
You know what I'm going to do, though, don't you?
Yes, I do know what you're going to do,
I'm
and I hope you're
under.
successful.
Unders all the way. Unders all the way.
There will be no follow-on because England haven't got over 200, so that's out of the equation. We're going to see Broad and Anderson and Wood and nobody else. Oh, Stokes,
Bess.
yes. Yeah, Bess. It's not really... In a low-scoring game, a bloke making his debut as a spinner...
tonight's not going to be tonight.
No, I doubt he's going to get more than 1 over tonight.
I reckon first over before lunch tomorrow. Last over.
Well,
before
they may
lunch
give him one just to settle him down a little bit, but it's got to be all about it's got to be all about the seamers tonight. We're going to jingle up the bowlers and the batsmen. Let's start with the bowlers because we've got some idea who they're going to be.
Well, yeah, we do. It's going to be.
Jimmy was a local boy, but he seen much more than the change in the weather. Sitting in a uniform of a three-piece suit and the ribbons from his past.
And this man.
What would make road walk?
If his stumps were knocked down,
What would make road walk?
caught 5 feet off the
What
ground,
would make road walk?
if he trod on his
What
stumps,
would make road walk?
if God was one of the
What
arms,
would make road walk?
road walk.
I'll tell you what. We were talking about the England jumpers before. I do like the fact that the Pakistani gloves and pad straps are colour coordinated.
Is that Pakistan or is that just the player concerned? Because they probably
No,
they
both
probably
of
have
them.
their
Both of
own-
them.
Yeah.
Both. I like
Anyway,
it.
it's all happened in rather a rush. The last 3 wickets fell in 6 balls for England. Okay, and we're going to jingle up the batsmen.
Let's have this man.
Yeah, it's Chesney Hawkes himself, Azhar Ali, who will be facing up to Jimmy Anderson, who is England's highest ever wicket taker with 531 wickets at 27. And the Australians still don't rate him. Twat.
I know. He needs 34 to overtake the great Glenn McGrath. Slightly higher average, of course. But still an average in the 20... What was it, 27?
27. Yeah, you take that any day of the week. There's going to be 3 slips and a gully, a point, a mid-on, a mid-off, a mid-wicket, and a long leg as Jimmy comes in right arm over the wicket. Bowls a swinging delivery, which is well watched by Azhar Ali. He didn't get all of the middle of the bat onto it, but he got enough of it, played it up towards mid-off, no run.
That was a very Jimmy ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very Jimmy. Straight on the mark.
It wasn't very quick, but you've got to make the batsman play first up.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
His pace will go up. If he gets himself moving, he's still getting... he gets 84, 85, very occasionally 87.
If the conditions are helpful, speed is useful, but it's not the most important thing. As Tim Murtagh showed us in Ireland last week.
Very true.
Similar bowlers in some respects. As Jimmy bowls again in a good line just outside the off stump. A confident leave by Azhar. We must have a bunch of tweets, surely. Are they all going apoplectic?
Yeah, but a grumpy Twitter sphere. Shocking news. Joe Root knew all about this wicket and decided to bat first. That was Ravi Nair. Tim Part, struggling to keep up with producing the social graphics for all these wickets. Can I please put up a picture of a massive turd?
Yes.
Do.
Jimmy in again to Azhar outside the off stump. Too short and too wide. No need for the batsman to play.
Way Pom, we need a "we're shit and we know we are" jingle. You'll be used quite. Okay, right. I'll get that together.
We've got. We're doomed.
Victoria. So did Ed Smith's decisions bring back Joss work out?
Well, yes. There was a lot of questions.
We'll tell you in
this.
2.5 days' time, I would imagine.
Well, you can't tell what's going on in the game until both sides are batted.
Twice.
Twice.
Anderson's in again, and this is decent shape outside the off stump, but a little bit too wide for Azhar to play. There was a good carry there through to the keeper. Sorry, I just kicked the microphone there.
Needs to be fuller, though.
What, Dave's mic?
No.
Oh, no, the ball. Okay. Yeah, look, Jimmy, don't tell your grandmother out to suck eggs, as they say. He knows what he's doing, and he knows where he's putting it. And he's one of those bowlers who does actually have a plan. He just set batsmen up in certain ways.
Yeah, it's true.
Doesn't try and bowl a miracle ball every ball. Let's see what he's got for Azhar Ali. No run on the board yet. 4 balls of the first overs. Jimmy's in again. That beats the outside edge. That was just on a 4th stump line. It swung away. Azhar played at it and was beaten by probably 6 inches.
I think something has to be said about the Jimmy Anderson hair colour debacle at the start of the season. Did you see that?
No.
He
bleached his hair.
Yeah, he was very blonde. Didn't go down too well, and it went.
Quite right.
That means it's probably been dyed to get that colour.
It's been bleached and then dyed again.
Oh dear.
Dear. Why did he bleach? How old is he?
Jimmy's in again, too far outside the off stump. At the end of the first over, Pakistan have survived it, but no runs are on the board.
I've just looked up on the internet. Jimmy Anderson is 72 years of age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's 35.
He's the same age as Shadab Khan, I think. Right,
The
so let's,
doubly dyed hair of Jimmy
let's jingle up the other opener, who's a man in glasses.
It's this man.
His mom's a head selector. It's just coincidence that he's my uncle. Him's mom's a head selector. Me being pick's got nothing to do with that. My name is Emman. Oh hi. My name is Emman. Oh hi. My name is Emman. Oh hi. My name is Emman. Oh hi.
Dude, I did a better one than that. I did a better jingle than that one.
Did you do it?
I did one.
We can't take sides. Not with you.
Yeah, no,
not with
it's
you sitting
definitely,
here.
definitely. I mean, like, I'm completely unbiased about this, but my one was better.
Okay, well, Stuart Broad, who will be bowling from the nursery end, he's just had a long chat with Jimmy Anderson as he was bowling a few balls to him. So they were obviously running through various options. The left-handed Imam, who won the game for Pakistan last week, it's fair to say, in Dublin, as Broad is into him, right arm over the wicket, and this is well wide, and he actually has a flash at it, but got nowhere near it. It was short and wide, and probably would have been better just watching that.
Right, we're going to put this to the vote. I'm going to play your jingle now.
All right.
I don't know, maybe it was an experiment in existentialism or mentalism. Maybe they messed up the algorithm, but it definitely is not. My lawyer informs me it's not. Nepotism.
I'm serious.
Who's your uncle? Nepotism. Nah. It couldn't be that.
Did we play that last week in Malahide?
No.
So this was outside the off stump, a little bit closer. Imam leaves with lifting his bat high above his shoulders. Yeah, well, we'll leave it to the Twitter sphere. Vote. Which one do you want to hear? Again and again. They were both on similar lines in terms of...
Well, I was saying it definitely wasn't nepotism.
No, of course. Well, I don't even know why you mentioned the word. So Stuart Broad, who's no slouch with the wickets himself, he went over 400, didn't he?
Yep.
Recently.
And he got his last outing. He got 6. He got 9 in a match in the last test, didn't he, against New Zealand? Or was it? He certainly got a 5 in an innings, didn't he?
He bowls to Imam, and again he's not quite found his line. He's bowling well wide of off stump to the left-hander, and Imam doesn't have to play.
I approve of anyone batting in glasses, especially librarian glasses.
Yeah, I mean those are great glasses. It has to be said.
It's great. He looks fantastic. I think they were actually Nick Lowe's glasses.
Oh, Nick Lowe. What a wonderful performer he is.
I know.
If you ever get the chance to see him, he's
God.
still fantastic.
Better than before.
Yeah, and every couple of years he brings out another brilliant album. It's just ludicrous.
I don't know Nick Lowe.
Dude.
Nick Lowe. Grown-up music.
Yeah.
Broad in again, and this is again very wide of the off stump.
You know what? I want to call that a wide.
He's not had to play
Who's
for...
Nick Lowe? Shut up.
Nestle boy,
Nestle
go.
boy
Have him.
is
Take
annoyed.
him down, mate.
Is annoyed with the bear for not having heard of Nick Lowe.
Can you shut the door?
I'll send you out.
Are
I'll
you
send
off?
you some over.
Yeah. Anyway, Imam ul Haq. This is his second test, I think. The first one was last week. He played a match-winning innings, and at one point Ireland was 17 for 3, was it? Chasing 160, and it was very much game on. 14 for 3. Oh, all the difference. Come on, Broady, make him play. No, he doesn't. Wide of the off stump again, and that is the end of the over.
No, there's one ball left.
One ball left of so far a very poor over. You can't waste the new ball by not making the batsman play.
No, it's pointless, isn't it?
Fred, I think they should be bringing back a lot more wides in Test cricket, because if you're going to a game, it costs you about £100. That works out about 18p a ball. Every time they don't call a wide, it's costing me 18p when I go there. I'm not happy about
But
it.
then the games will finish about 10 o'clock. That's the.
I've
that's
got
the
no
other
problem.
Yeah, but the last
Maybe
trade
they'll
back to
bowl a
God
few
knows
less
where.
wides.
Anyway, Broady's in
Deptford.
again, and this is well down the leg side. That's a very good take by Johnny
That was
Bairstow.
a great.
That could have been a wide as well.
Yeah.
It was well down the
I'd
leg
have called
side. The batsman didn't have to play it, but it took off vertically.
That was a shit over.
It was an absolute shit over. He didn't have to play a single ball, even though he did play at one of the balls. But Broady, sort yourself out, otherwise we're going to get wood on from the nursery end.
Has he taken any wickets this season, Woody? I mean, Broady? Has he been playing any cricket?
no, I don't think-
It's a good question.
played
Twitter
one
sphere, let
game.
us know.
Yeah, we should know that really as
We should
professional
do,
commentators,
but,
but
We've
we're
been busy. We've been in Ireland.
been busy down the pub.
Yes, in Ireland.
Yeah.
Gibney's of Malahide, by the way. If you're in Malahide, go to Gibney's.
It's a great place.
You
It's
can
like
get lost
TARDIS
there.
as well. Yeah.
It's
Are
got
they
about
sponsors?
18 different bars.
And it looks quite. It's quite like the size of a terrace house, really.
Yes,
on the front.
you
And then
walk in the front,
in-
this little entrance, and then there's everywhere you go, there's another whole bar with 700 people in.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. And
a
the
music hall
upstairs.
at the back, and there's a brilliant
Yeah.
little roof terrace on top, and does its own stout, which is quite tasty.
Anyway, Anderson is back to
Oh.
Azar. It's a sort of an outswinging
great
Yorker.
cricket
He
all round.
may have got to him on the full. He got an outside edge to it. And Butler dived away in the gully to prevent any run. That was going pretty quickly off the bat.
That
I
was a
think
gr-
it got to him on the full.
Yeah, that was a great bit of bowling, great bit of batting, a great bit of fielding in the
Not
gully.
that
as well.
great a bit of batting, but he
Oh
did
no, he
enough.
got that out.
He did enough.
No,
Got that
a
out.
lot of people would have. That would have been curtains for a lot of people. That
Yeah,
was a really.
perhaps.
He dug it out. Rabinair. It's not quite bedtime yet, but I'm not. Oh, hang on.
Jimmy's in again, and this is closer to the off stump. And Azar does a good leave. I think Jimmy needs to bring one back from there.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, and I'm sure he will.
Yeah, at some point. You're right. Jimmy's hair is sort of chestnut, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's trying to match his natural colour. but
it's
of
not
course
worked.
failed.
It looks
alright work.
purple.
It does look a bit bright, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shave it all off. Oh, speaking of which, we have a woman with absolutely
Bright
shocking
pink
pink hair in the crowd.
Maybe that's where Jimmy's going next.
This one did come back, the one we were calling for, but it bounced over the top, well, just a little bit wide of off stump. But it'll make
think that
Azar
was-
think twice
no, that's
about leaving.
Oh, that was a good
That was,
ball.
Yeah,
over
that was
top,
a good
mate.
ball.
That was great.
Yeah, well, as we said, he was going to set him up for that one. It did a bit too much as far as the bounce is concerned. Jimmy is holding his hands up in the air as if he cannot believe he hasn't got added to his world record England tally of Test wickets. Can you have a world record
English
for England?
record.
This is driven. Some runs finally. It was a full ball. He got the bat on it. Didn't try and do too much. It's gone straight past mid-off. It's going to beat the despairing dive of somebody. It's 4 runs. It's Joe Root. What's he doing at mid-off?
Having a chat with the bowler.
Honestly, if you're Joe Root as the captain and Jimmy Anderson is the bowler,
You don't need to be a mid-off.
well, you don't need to talk to him. I think Jimmy's got a better
Fair
idea than you
yeah,
what he should be
exactly.
doing.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Fred.
But the Root's out of the slips, where he's fielded a lot of the time. I wonder if that's injury related or tactically related. Oh, this is a straight
nice.
ball, which is worked off his pads by Azar. For a split second, there was a thought of an LBW, but he got the bat onto it, played it to long leg, and takes a single. 5 for no wicket.
Brody might favour
Bowling to the right hander,
Yeah.
well, perhaps. And Jimmy's had some success against left-handers over these. He's had some success against everybody. One ball at the left-handed Imam.
Brendan's. Oh no, one more ball left. We'll do some tweets after that.
Okie doke. There are 3 slips and a gully, a point, a mid-on, a mid-off, a square leg, and a long leg. As Jimmy will remain over the wicket to the left-handed Imam. He's up to the wicket now. He bowls. It's down the leg side. It's a good take. They're going up for the strangle, but Jimmy is not interested. It may have flipped the arse of Imam ul Haq, and there's no thought of a review, is there? No, nobody's interested except Bairstow, and it was a pretty good take, but it was not a well-directed ball. The end of the third over, Pakistan are 5 for no wicket.
Can someone bring me a beer, please?
Can someone bring me a beer, please?
I think there's only 2 left.
Oh well, I'll definitely have the second one then.
Yeah, that flicked the trousers of Imam ul Haq.
Bloody good take,
It was a good
bloody
take
good take.
by Bairstow. We're looking at the ultra edge. It's nowhere near the bat. It's nowhere near the
no,
bat,
it's all
Yeah.
leg.
and it's the trousers. So
It's trousers. That's exactly what Leggy Mountbatten said about the Rattles.
oh yes, one of the great characters in
Good take.
Well, a great in history.
mockumentary history. Leggy Mountbatten. He's up there with Sir Dennis Eaton Hogg of Spinal Tap, the head of the record company. Anyway, Stuart Broad will have a chance to bowl a straight ball for once, which he didn't manage to do in the first. Knuckles in with the beers.
Thank you.
1 each for the men either side of me. I'm far too professional. 4 slips are hoping that Stuart Broad can find his radar as he comes in to bowl to the right-handed Azar, and this is comes back into him. He tickles this off his pads. He's taken 1 quickly. They think about 2. There is not 2 there. So that was a leg bye, actually. So he started up with the inducker rather than the away swinger. And he'll be back at the left-hander, who he didn't bowl a good over to last time.
No. You might want to try around the wicket. He bowls quite well around the wicket to lefties.
Not quite yet. Just keep that very straight line. Bowl as straight as you can.
Yeah, but he hasn't been bowling straight, has he?
Well,
He's bowling too far across.
Yeah, but you take a lot of the game out when you're bowling round the wicket.
Well, you notice that Pakistan bowled a lot fuller than England are as well.
Well, we've only Broad's only bowled 7 balls, to be fair.
Yeah, but most of them were bowling full.
As Broad is in again, that is a good line and a good length, and it was a good leave actually by Imam. It was close to the off stump, but it was going across him, and he left it into Bairstow's gloves.
Apparently, Broad has taken 14 wickets from 3 matches this season. Alec Patton informs us.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Alec. I hope you're well. Did you play for the Bodleian Library against Blenheim on Sunday?
Were you not there?
I wasn't. Let us know.
I played on Sunday.
It was a win for the Bodleian. Some grumpy emails from the Blenheim players on Monday morning. As Broad is in again, not quite, a bit too wide. Imam doesn't have to play. Come on, Broady. You've taken 400 Test wickets and you haven't done it by bowling out there.
Are you not playing this season, Fred?
I wasn't available last Sunday. I'll be playing on Sunday.
Okay.
I'll be there on Sunday. I've actually I won't be playing because I've got a broken bone in my foot.
Oh.
Which is taking an annoyingly long time to heal.
Well, that's the thing about getting older, Fred. Everything takes longer.
Yeah, you can't really rest it because you have to use your feet quite often.
Yeah.
Although I'm trying, to be fair, as Broad is in again. That's a straight ball. And it's well played by Imam. It was a bit too straight, in fact. It was a little bit short of a length. He went on the back foot, played it back to the bowler, no run. Any tweets?
Yep. Brendan Statten sitting on a bus, Oslo to Gothenburg. Oh, I know that route. Usually it's boring as fuck. Not now, thanks to you guys. Plus, the woman next to me is a stunner, as is the man next to me. How are you doing, Fred?
Well,
Chris
send us some pictures.
No, we know what you look like. Chris Tyndale. I preferred the nepotism jingle. A lot of people will relate to it.
Broady in again. And this, he left it and it hit him. It didn't hit him anywhere annoying, just on the thigh pad. But it's a very strange ball to try and leave, I have to say. It's almost like an Australian leave where you leave it knowing that it's going over the over the stumps.
Back into him.
It jagged back into him.
Caught him in the knackers.
It caught him probably in the lower abdomen.
Ooh.
And, yeah, well, he'll be thinking twice. Now, Broady has found his line, not before time, after 9 not very good balls. Last 2 have been bang on the money, and this is the last ball that is over. And Imam has faced 11 balls and hasn't got off the mark yet, so he'll be feeling a bit jittery. Broad is in again. He drives edgily through between the slips and the gully, along the ground, and all the way out to the boundary for 4 runs.
In fact, yes, I've got 4. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, he has got off the mark, but he hasn't got off the mark in a way that'll give him great confidence. And that's the end of the over. Any more tweets?
Yeah, more nice stuff said about me, which I love. Evil Scooters.
Don't encourage him.
Evil Scooters, that's quite an excellent jingle, men with them. Mohammed Al-Zan. Brisbane always reminds me of Brisbane Test. Pakistan should have chased 490. Ravi now. Oh no, we've had that. No, that's it. We're jingled out.
Tweeted.
Oh, one just come in. Breaking news.
What's this?
Breaking a metatarsal for a big game. Beckham, Rooney, not Fred Titmus.
Yeah, not
all the greats of British
phalanx
sport.
rather than metatarsal. But the first ball of Jimmy's over to Azza is well outside the off stump. And this one, unlike many of the others, just died on the way through to the keeper.
Oh, what? Look, Cookie's warming up.
Cookie's warming up. He must be waiting for a bowl. He's got the best test average. He's got the best bowling average in the side by a mile.
Bowling average of 6.
Yeah. But it's a little bit early to think of that, I would have thought. Unless it's a funky route manoeuvre. Funky routes manoeuvre. That's something to work on.
I like it. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy bowls again. This one nips back into Azza. He does cover up in defence. Goes out on the leg side, no run. Funky route manoeuvre. Funky Cold Medina. Who was that by? Tone Loke.
Tone Loke.
And
Big horrible ACDC
or
guitar.
Ton Lock, as it should have been.
And there was a band called Roots Manoeuvre.
There was an artist known as Roots Manoeuvre, but he couldn't spell manoeuvre. Azza has 5, Imam has 4. It's 10 for no wicket. The extra was a leg bye. And England's subpar, we think, performance in scoring 184, and they're only 174 behind Pakistan. As Jimmy bowls again, that's the place to bowl it, but well played by Azhar. He was just outside the off stump, it shaped away, and he just nudged it into the offside, took a quick single, good bit of running, 11 for no wicket.
I've got a flouncy tweet.
Okay, flounce away.
Is it Mog?
No, it's Ravi Nair.
Oh,
You didn't actually read out my tweet, so I'm off to bed.
Bye.
Ooh.
Bye.
Ravi Nair. Okay, Ravi Nair goes, you just tuck yourself in with your teddy bear and just like you just be all upset about everything, okay?
Pompous Poppinjay.
Night, Rav.
Anderson to the left-handed Imam. He's up to the wicket. He bowls. It's down the leg side. It was a lovely ball to a right-hander, but unfortunately a left-hander was facing. A good take by Bairstow. And Jimmy shakes his head ruefully as he walks back to his mark.
How many overs to give him each? 6? No, or 7? Because they're only going to bowl once tonight, aren't they? Probably.
Well, yes. Let's see. Let's see how they're doing. Let's see if wickets fall.
Well, normally they've been doing a lot of one of them only bowling sort of 3 or 4, haven't they? And then a third bowler coming in, and then they rotate.
Well, they do have 4 frontline seamers, so we could. Well, it depends. As Jimmy comes in and bowls, and this goes past the outside edge, and that one did rise a little bit. Bairstow took it above his shoulders, but definitely beaten there was Imam. That was a bit quicker as well. So have a look at that. He dug it in a bit shorter. Well, was he beaten or did he withdraw the bat?
I think he withdrew the bat now. I think it was pretty good withdrawal. It was a little bit too short.
I could see for the penultimate over throwing in Dom Bess, just because it would just. They're both used to playing against these bowlers.
May depend on the match situation as well as Jimmy bowls. Good line outside the off stump, and again, Honest Bairstow standing much closer than people normally do. He took it very high, above shoulder height. But the end of Jimmy's over, 11 for no wicket of 5. Pakistan trailed by 173.
Oh, it's only 5 o'clock. I thought it was.
It was a long way
to go.
No, there'll be loads of bowlers. There'll be all kinds of things going on.
Well, they should get about 30 overs in that time they got. He's going to leave us good 4 or 5 short.
Yeah. You'd have thought so, but there's been wickets take time, don't they? And there's been plenty of wickets today, 10 so far. All of them English, unsurprisingly. As was that a? Oh, I see. That was a good noise. That was a good noise. Broadie's back, and he'll be bowling to the right-handed Azhar. He's up to the wicket. He bowls, and that's straighter, but it was actually on his pads, and Azhar will be a bit miffed that he didn't take advantage of that. He did glide it quite nicely, but it went straight to Stoneman, who's fielding at mid-wicket. No run.
There was a lot of bottom hand in that flick, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, but it was made for a comfortable 4 through the leg side. Thank you very much. But he picked out the only man in acres of space. 6 not out of 16 balls, Azhar. And having said that, England haven't gone past the bat too often in these first 5 overs and 1 ball. And they haven't caught the edge as Broadie bowls again. Has he gloved that down the leg side?
Yes,
it's not taken by Bairstow. Bairstow dived. He got his glove to it. He got one glove to it. It's going to be a leg bye.
No.
It is a leg bye. It came off the hip.
No, really? I thought
the umpire thought he came off the hip, so he wouldn't have given it out, and it would have had to have been reviewed.
Let's have a look.
It was a short ball in at the hip.
Yeah, it's glove.
No, I think that's hip. It's not a good take by Bairstow. He did the hard work of getting there. He got his gloves out.
No, it was.
Having got there, he should have held on to that. And Bairstow is looking like a small boy who's been caught stealing biscuits.
I like the jaunty angle of his hat.
Yeah. Well, he did the hard work. The hard bit was getting there. He should have closed his glove on it. Broad in. No, Broad.
Yeah, he's going to
review that, but it may have been pitching outside leg stump.
He's got to review it.
Were they discussing it? The Brains Trust. Quick, 1, 2, 3. What are we going to do? He's not going to review it. He is going to review it. I think this might be pitching outside leg stump. It kept a bit low. Umpire Rod Tucker shook his head immediately. Maybe he saw some inside edge. But I have a feeling that might be a bit leggy. There's no chance of a no ball. He's well behind the line.
It certainly hit him in line. I mean, certainly.
It looked like it was going to hit the stumps, but I think that might be pitching outside leg stump. Ooh,
no, I don't think so.
No. No,
and it's
that
gone, mate.
looks like it's going to hit middle stump.
That is really surprising.
I don't think he got an edge. No,
nowhere
nothing
near
on
it.
ultra
That's all
edge.
where it pitched.
It's all to do with where it pitched.
Please pitch in line. Please pitch in line.
And it is out.
Take that!
England have taken a wicket.
Money
and,
for Bear.
Money for Bear. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Umpire Tucker has reversed his decision. That is a wicket. He has gone. Well, Broad, as is his wont, when the ball hit the pad, he just carried on running towards the batsman as if to say, "Well, that's definitely out. I don't even, I barely need to look at the umpire." And then he was quite bemused when it was turned down, but overturned on appeal. Well done, England.
It was kind of close on the leg stump, I suppose. But
I felt pretty confident.
I mean, it didn't. They had two reviews. The Pakistanis, they got one right, one wrong. Similar sort of thing, wasn't it?
But that one didn't get up at all, did it?
No.
That's a bit strange.
First day, keeping low.
Oh dear. Make other plans for Monday. It's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
So I think there's things to do.
Who's next in?
It's a good question.
I think
it's going to be Haris Sohail or Asad Shafiq.
No, Asad Shafiq is 4 or 5. Well, it's got him down here as 4. Babar Azam. Azam.
We don't know. We'll wait and see. It's not going to be a night watchman because there's a hell of a lot of cricket still left to be played today.
Yes, we've got 3/4 an hour, right? So is
I'm
it 6 or 6:30?
under. I'm going under. It's this man.
What's that going to do with Ghostbusters exactly?
Nothing. There's some real tenuous links in our jingles.
Well, it may have been something that happened in a long time ago. There was some players who had in a haunted hotel. Was he one of them?
He might have been.
I thought it was Australians.
Yeah, Broad as well, though. It was definitely Twatto.
Yeah. Anyway, so Broady, we know what Broady does. He gets one and he can pick up 4 or 5. He's very much a clutch bowler. Haris Hotel had a ghost in a hotel room sort of incident. Okay. In 2015, where was that? In Scotland somewhere? Christchurch. Oh, okay. Broad into the new batsman, and he goes past the outside edge of the left-handed Haris Sohail. That was a quicker ball, 87.5 miles an hour. Bit of zip. It's amazing what a wicket does for the bowling speed. Better line, decent line, just outside the off stump. He played at it, and he was beaten, but he was beaten by a long way. I imagine the crowd will be. We can't hear the crowd, but there's probably a good bit of buzz going on. We can hear a crowd, but not necessarily the crowd.
Which reminds me, I've recorded a whole day of crowd at Ireland.
Oh, did you? Are we going to play that again?
Well, I'm gonna. Well, no. I was gonna mix it into this one.
Oh, good idea. Some.
The match will live.
Anyway, a very good crowd at Lord's today. It seems to be about probably 85% full from what I've seen.
It'd be even better crowd because I'll be there tomorrow.
Well, it may be a bigger crowd, but not necessarily better. We've got 5 slips have gone in now.
Like that.
And a mid on, a mid off, a mid wicket, and a long leg as Broad carefully positions the ball between his index finger and his middle
5
finger.
slips. Oh yeah.
And runs in to bowl to Haris Sohail. He's up to the wicket now, and he bowls outside the leg stump. An absolute gimme. He lifts this over square leg. It's as if to say, do you want some runs to get off the mark? Here they are, and here's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Decent light to the right-hander, but it's a left-hander, and it would have been a half volley in any event. Oh, not quite half volley, but a good shot, leaning forward. Nothing a batsman likes to get off the mark more than a ball on his pads. Bowl to your field, Broady. As he's in up to the wicket now and bowls outside the off stump a little bit too wide, and Haris leaves. 16 for 1.
Trail by 168.
More angry tweets or an angry tweet? Way Pom. That was plumb as plumb can be. It looked plumb live. Someone wake up the umpire. Terrible decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes a bit tricky, isn't it, on a leg stump, whether it pitched outside, pitched in line, especially when you're bowling over to a left-hander or your left armour over to a right-hander, because it's got to be quite tight.
I find there's been some really bad LBW decisions when I'm batting.
There's a terrible one.
Generally.
Also when you're umpiring, Dave.
No, they're great. When I'm
Yeah.
umpiring, they're great. And also sometimes really funny.
Yeah. I'm not sure everyone finds them funny.
Oh.
I'm sure the batsmen don't.
I know, but like...
And or bowler.
If you pick the right batsman to give out, it can be really funny.
Oh, dear. Anyway, Jimmy's going to start a new over, and he'll be bowling to Azhar Ali. He's in bowls, and that's going up, but it's going down the leg side.
It's a bit leggy, isn't it?
And may have possibly even been a bit of edge in that.
I think they're going to call it because
Are they going to think of review? But I think that's leggy. No, and Jimmy's not got a confident expression on his face, and
mate,
he walks back. Joe Root is late to the party, and Jimmy and Bairstow were discussing that. Root is definitely fielding either mid-on or mid-off rather than in the slips.
This is kind of weird. It's gone too far.
It's gone too much,
Basically,
it hit him. The height was pretty good, I would have thought, just above the knee roll. But it looks like it was missing leg stump. And Hawkeye confirms that. It was missing it by a stump. The height was good. Yeah, it would have hit a fourth stump, outside leg stump. You know when they talk about you should be bowling the fourth stump line. Where are you going to put the fourth stump?
Yeah.
You know, you can put it anywhere. You can put it in square leg. Don't necessarily want to bowl there. The umpire's having a word about sight screens. Oh, he's going to come round. Is he coming round the wicket to the left-hander? I think he is.
I think he gets enough away swing from that line. It's kind of tempting, isn't it?
Okay. Well, he'll be
bowl
probably
into
trying
the
to bowl some induckers. So the see-through sight screen is moving in the Lord's Pavilion, which is the end that Jimmy's bowling from. He has none for 6 off 3 overs and 1 ball, and he'll be bowling to the left-handed Harris Sohail, who's 4 not out. He comes in and bowls. He is trying to induck it, but well played by Harris. And that's no run as it goes towards mid-wicket. It's raining here in Sydenham, which is about 5 miles away as the crow flies.
Is it going in the right direction now? It could be going east-west.
If you're England, you wouldn't want rain, would you?
No.
You'd want them to have another hour out there in testing conditions. And Root, who is fielding at mid-off, talks to Jimmy, and now he comes into bowl, and just outside off stump, and well played by Harris into the offside, no run.
Tony Bishop writes, 5 slips to bowl at, so Broady bowls at leg. Come on, Broady.
Well, you don't want to bowl at the slips, because that would also be counterproductive. But yeah, it's a tricky art bowling. You can be playing for 15, 20 years, and still there will be days when you just cannot land it in the right place.
I know, it's so fucking frustrating as well.
So, if you're enjoying our commentary, you can help us out, because after this ball, as Jimmy bowls and the good ball just down in the offside, just on off stump and defended into the offside. We do have costs that we need to bear in terms of venue and equipment, and all donations are gratefully received and put to good use. You can go to our Just Giving page, which we set up basically just for the Ireland Test match, but it's still running. Just Giving, and search for Guerilla Cricket Does Dublin. That's still open for a week or two. Or you could Patreon us, which is a regular donation on a monthly basis. It can be small as a $2 or $3 a month, and that will help us greatly. Patreon.com/Guerilla Cricket. He's come back over the wicket, and he's bowled a ball which pitched maybe even outside leg stump and beat the outside edge of Harris Sohail. That was an absolute cracker from Jimmy. Pitched well outside leg stump, and has gone across the face of the bat and was very close to it. Oh, decent.
Very decent.
You can also send us money by PayPal. Another thing we don't plug often enough is our store on our website.
Yeah, T-shirts.
We've got T-shirts, caps, hoodies, aprons, even bespoke bats as Jimmy bowls, and this is well played by Harris, square on the offside, no run.
Well, one thing I do when we do, we are doing the West Indies versus rest of the world, and we're going to be at Lord's doing that one.
Oh yeah, next week.
Next week. And we're actually going to be at Lord's. We're going to do it live from the ground, like we did in Ireland. We will be raising money, or there will be a link to raise money. It's for the
Hurricane
hurricane
appeal,
relief
Yeah.
for the disaster, the hurricane that drove through the West Indies last year. They're trying to raise money for repairs and all that kind of stuff. So the West Indies are playing rest of the world. They've even got what's his name?
Really?
Oh God, my mind's gone blank.
What does he do? What does he look like?
Leggy,
Shane
Pakistan. He used to be captain.
Mushtaq Ahmed?
No. Slogger. Exactly. What's going on?
Yeah, he bit the ball.
Yes.
And he went on a length. Anyway, Broad starts a new over. Oh! He's got an LBW appeal. I think he's gone outside the off stump. Cut back into him. He was on the walk, the batsman. They're not going to review it because I think pretty sure he was outside the off stump when the ball hit him by some measure, and he was playing a shot, so you can't be out LBW. The bloke who's 108 years old, you're thinking of?
Yes.
Yeah, him. Okay. Come on, Knuckle, put us out of our fucking misery.
Shine Afridi.
Oh, it was a big inside edge. Actually, it was a big inside edge as well. So, and he was outside the off stump. So there was a lot of things wrong with that. But Stuart Broad, who must have seen the inside edge, gave an impassioned plea. I don't know why, because you know it's going to be overturned in the day when you've got DRS. It doesn't help when the umpire puts his finger up because you're only halfway there, and sometimes not even halfway there as far as getting a batsman out. Anyway, Broad into Azhar Ali again. The reason he's got a Chesney Hawks jingle, I'll tell you after this ball, and again that hits him on the pad but outside the off stump. It's coming back, and Broad is appealing for everything now, and there is no way that can be out.
Well, it's questionable whether he was playing a shot.
Yeah, but he put his bat and pad out there.
Exactly, that's what Bairstow's saying. He didn't really play a shot there.
Well,
I would argue.
Even so,
he's so late on that. Look, he's not done anything.
Oh, he's put his bat. He's played a shot at it. The ball has come back in. So he's entitled to be defeated by. Had the ball kept its line, it would have hit the bat.
I still think that's the law. That's one of the laws I would change.
Well, who makes the decision on that? It has to be the standing umpire.
Whether you're playing a bloody shot or not, and you get hit outside the line, it's going to hit the stumps. Why shouldn't it be out? You missed the fucking ball.
You're listening to the bowler, Nigel Walker.
That's a bloody loony. You're putting your leg in the way of the ball. That's what leg before wicket is.
Yes, women and kids don't understand the LBW rule apparently. Broad is fired up, and. He's in now and bowls. Another well-directed ball on off stump, but well played by Azhar up to mid-on. No run.
I generally find most cricketers don't understand the LBW rule.
Well, certainly not when they've been given out.
Yeah.
I wanted our umpires in our club to wear these little GoPro helmets, cameras on their caps, so that we could review all the decisions after they've gone back to the pavilion. That would be quite fun. Or you could send it upstairs and say, have a look at the camera and see whether we're going to give that out.
If it was going out live, you could do.
Yeah. Anyway, 4 slips, a point, a mid-on, a mid-off, and a backward square leg, probably, or rather a long leg. Those are all the people I can see, or I can guess at. So this time, not this time next week. Is it this time next week?
Oh, he's coming up again.
When is it? It's next Thursday.
31st, yes, so it is.
Next Thursday, we will be commentating at Lord's.
Where this is.
Where this game is going on for West Indies versus the rest of the world in a T20 charity game, as Broad is in again. This one comes back. It's left by Azhar, who was pretty close to off stump, but not quite close enough.
They're bowling great.
We're having a change. Well, I'm supposed to go there.
Right, okay.
I'm just going to go to the loo.
Okay, Nestler's done a bit of pointing. The men with Ven is going to take a bit of a break, and
Au revoir, world.
The Bear is going to do some ball by ball after he's answered the call of nature. 17 for 1 now. Very much game on. Is that a short leg coming into play? Oh, it's a sort of a short mid-wicket. Not quite sure what he's there for, but it's a funky fielding position as Broad is over the wicket to Azhar is down the leg side. He fleshes at it, misses the ball, and Bairstow takes not a well-directed ball. This reaction time that Sky is their new toy. They're putting it up every ball. Why is that any different to the actual speed of the ball? I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be telling us.
Oh, they've got to do something, haven't they?
Yeah, rotation, the spin. You remember the spin?
Oh, the revometer thing.
Revolutions.
Yeah.
Well, the lights are on. Are the lights on? Yes, I think they are.
It's raining. It was raining quite heavily here a minute ago, but on the weather radar, it didn't seem like the rain was going to get to Lords.
4 slips weight as Broad bowls to Azhar well wide of the off stump, and this one doesn't carry through at any pace, and Bairstow sprawls to his right to take. Is that the end of the over? No, I don't know, because we have to tell us the reaction time, so we don't know how... Yeah, it is the end of the over. So the Bear's going to come in here, talk us through some tweets, and we'll have a little change.
Sorry. Yes, it looks a bit gloomy on the TV at Lord's at the moment. But having looked on the weather radar, I'll learn how to say that someday. I don't think the rain that we've had here is going to get there, but light might be a problem, maybe?
I hope not.
No.
It looks all right at the moment.
Well, England will want to stay out there.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's good bowling coming to. Tomorrow's pretty much the same as today, isn't it? Very full in-swinging delivery by Jimmy. Clipped off the toes by Harris Sahale. Out to mid-wicket, where Broad fields from mid-on, and they get one run.
Josh Robinson loved your attempt to name Shahid Afridi.
Amazing how quick you forget. Isn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, I did the thing that men of a certain age will understand. You know, when you're at home and you sort of stand up to go and do something, you walk into another room and you completely forget why you've done it.
Yep.
I just did it in the kitchen.
I thought that was just due to the things I smoked.
And Knackle did not understand at all what I was talking about. And I said, well, it's an age thing. It will happen.
Yeah, it does. I find myself completely falling asleep on the sofa in seconds.
Oh, God.
I've been watching telly and the next thing it's 2:30 in the morning. It's like, what the fuck happened there?
Well.
I used to take the piss out of my mum venomously when she did it, but I'm doing it now. That's back into Azhar Ali. It's a bit too short, though. He's able to clip it easily into the leg side out through mid-wicket. Holds his back a little bit when he gets to the bottom end. But he gets a single.
Jeff Perkins says 10% of all donations to Guerilla Cricket go to fighting dementia in commentators. Guerilla Cricket
creating dementia, actually.
Give generously. Tim Part says, I was in the toilets in the east stand of Edgbaston on Tuesday, don't ask. A bit of trivia on the wall of the bogs claimed that only one original law in cricket has ever changed. Which one?
Ooh. That's played up to mid-off, and there is...
Only one is unchanged or is changed?
Only one original law in cricket has never changed. Which one? It's on the toilets in the east stand at Edgbaston.
So it must be true.
It's probably as good as the internet.
I'm not quite sure.
No, it's one for... well, everyone can see the tweet from Tim.
The umpire's always right.
One for Knackle, maybe?
Well, bold, you would have thought.
Possibly. That's left alone outside the off stump of Harris Sahale, and there is no run.
Original law, sort of law of cricket. So is that a clue?
It has to be a whole law
rather than a rule.
A subsection. I don't know. No, there are no rules.
There are no rules. Yeah, they're called the laws, aren't they?
Laws of Association Football as well, as written by the International Board, not FIFA.
There you go. It's probably an English organisation originally, wasn't it? In comes Jimmy, and he's driven quite pleasantly by Horace. I'm not sure he's got enough on it. Horace. Is Horace
Harris.
And they get through for 3, I believe.
I have a friend.
Will be back on strike.
I have a friend called Marcus, who my mother, bless her, could not call him anything else other than Horace. No matter how many times I told her his name is Marcus, she just insisted on calling him Horace the whole time.
W.G. Grace has been resurrected in the crowd.
And I always thought if she ever met Knackle, she'd probably call him Knuckle. Even though I say, no, his name's Knuckle. Knuckles Bandy.
Ravi Nair calls him Knuckles frequently. I don't know why.
It's like an East End...
Very unpleasant.
East End villain's name.
Up the die, Jimmy Anderson comes in for the last ball of the over. It's a good straight ball, and shaping away again as it drives it, or attempts to drive it back to the ground. This times it completely. It goes up to mid-on, and there is no run. Ends the over 22 for 1.
Good job he got back on it.
Huh?
Well, yeah, it was very straight. It was one of those where you think, have I got through? Is it plumb? Not quite. Got a bit of bat on it. But late.
Change of bowling soon, I reckon. Go another couple of overs each, max.
Yes. Somebody on the YouTube feed, Shinoi Sana, says, Afridi!
Afridi,
yes, we remembered.
We got it.
Yes, eventually.
And we're going to try. I'm desperate. I really want to do this. I'm going to wear my Marlon Samuels t-shirt that we salute him. I'm going to try and get a photo of me saluting Marlon Samuels.
Oh, right. Well, you're a long way away from the players.
No,
the
but
Lord's
I'm giving a lot of things away, but things are in full swing,
motion.
Fred.
Okay. Maybe we can get rid of that Pakistan women's bat that we've had here for about 5 years.
Christ, we were supposed to give that away in Manahai.
You took it to
I said
Ireland, didn't you?
We took it to Ireland. It came back from
I
Ireland.
said I'd leave it on the plane. It would still follow us back here somehow. Anyway.
Well, that's an expensive
you.
bat, that. Broad in, bowls a little bit shorter. Harris ducks underneath it. And it goes through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Would have been great if it had been the Pakistani men's team.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to get someone to pick it up from the ground. So, like,
we should have given
someone
it
in
away
the
to some of
crowd.
those ticket people who we were giving money away to.
yeah.
If you weren't listening last week, David Franklin had a mad idea that we should
Whilst he was really pissed.
to get people to come to the game, we should actually refund their entry fee.
So he offered the first 10 people to come to the commentary box.
And we'd
there.
give them their 10 euros.
Which
And
he
you still
said
owe
he
me
would
5
fund
euros,
it.
David Franklin.
Yeah, which he said he would fund, and then completely forgot because he was drunk, and we all had to sort him out. That's left alone outside Horace's off stump, and there is no run.
I think 4 people came and got their 10
Yeah.
euros.
Good on him. We've had an attempt at the quiz from Josh Robinson. Is it Law 3, the scorers? Well, we don't know. Tim, I'm assuming, Tim, you know the answer. I hope you do. Otherwise, we could be...
We want the answer to why he says don't ask why he was in the toilets at Edgbaston.
There
It's
is
fairly
that as well.
obvious
Yeah.
why he was...
Well, he was probably using the facilities, I don't know.
We're looking at the Pakistan bench, and there are a few tense faces on there.
Well, they're doing all right so far. 22 for 1. Short again, and Harris ducks underneath once more. It goes through the Bairstow, and there's no run. Yeah, because what's his name was there as well. Great with names.
Another bloke we can't remember.
No, the commentator.
Ramiz Raja,
Ramiz.
the hair.
Yeah, the hair, man. His hair is.
Did you get
lustrous.
a chance to speak to him? I didn't.
No, I didn't. But I think Atif did.
Of course, Atif did.
Yeah.
He went and prostrated himself at his feet, I would have thought. Yeah, it was a very relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, wasn't it? It was a really good game. It was a shame the crowd wasn't bigger on a lot of the days. Saturday was okay, and Sunday was kind of okay, but... Oh, there's another pill for LBW, that one. Oh, and then there's an attempted run out. This is the man, I think it's Best comes in for mid-wicket. And Harris was halfway down the track, but he did get back. No, that one's pitched outside leg, would be my bet.
Azza's prone to running mishaps.
He is actually, isn't he? I forgot about that. Nah, it's pitched well outside leg,
he
and
got
it's
an
an inside
inside
edge.
Yeah. Other than that, it was
It was stone,
Yeah.
stone cold.
Stoneman.
Stone.
I think Broad has appealed probably 8 of his last 15 deliveries.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Vociferously.
Tends to lose its...
We've run out of beer, haven't we?
Send us beer. And or money. We'll buy our own beer. If you send us money, we'll buy our own beer.
Well, I did bring 12 bottles in this morning. That's left alone outside the off stump of Harris, and there's no run.
You've drunk 10?
No, I haven't. I've had about 5, and then the others have been consumed by everyone else. So it'd be nice if someone decided to go down to the off licence.
I haven't had a beer.
No,
you can't
haven't.
get the off licence. They dug up half this neighbourhood.
I know, it's
impossible
really
to get anywhere.
annoying. They finally opened the road that's the most direct road from my house, which has been shut for 6 months. And within 2 weeks, they've shut the end of my road from the entrance from that direction. So now I still have to go up and around.
Well, the other day I came in here the wrong way and I had to go all the way round again.
Yeah, no, I did that the other
Extremely
day.
annoying.
It is very annoying.
To get to the Tesco is probably about a 15-minute drive.
Well, yeah. You can still walk down the end of the road and get around that way. Left alone outside the off stump by Harris, and there is no run.
I've got the answer.
I don't want rum.
I've got the answer.
It's too strong.
Yo ho
That's
ho.
why I like beer.
I've got the answer, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Allegedly, the length of the pitch. Not the first time that
Ah.
cricket fan has stood at a urinal pondering length, I guess.
Ooh.
P.S. I was speaking at a conference rather than anything salacious.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
They had a conference in the toilets.
Yeah.
Mm.
Josh Robinson says, admitting that you've run out of beer isn't the best way of persuading me to come in on Saturday.
Well,
They'd
you
run
know,
out a lot sooner if you'd have been in here, Josh.
Yeah.
every time I come in, I bring booze. No one else brings booze. They drink all my booze.
I don't
get
think
very
anyone
upset.
else has had beer today. Have they?
Yes, they have.
Who?
Those two in there.
Have they?
I'm sure Hendo had half a bottle probably,
Oh, right.
and then left it, wasted it. We're going to have a test on the ball. There's a big chunk out of one side.
We've got a new donation on Just Giving from John Perry. who recently got an unexpected tax refund from HMRC, and he's sharing it with us, which is great. Thank you very much, John Perry. If you go to Just Giving and search for Guerilla Cricket, does Dublin, I think. Just search for Guerilla Cricket,
you'll find us.
and you'll find us. And talking of Shade Afridi tampering with the ball or biting the ball only, we've now got the umpire trimming a bit of it with a scissors that he's got in his pocket.
That looks like a huge chunks come out of it.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
caught the inside edges and it's gone through the leather.
They're funny things, bowlers. Oh, we've got to change the bowling.
we got to change the bowling.
Going to be
Pace.
this chap.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick.
So just a normal guy.
Of course, except for just one thing.
What?
He thinks that he's a horse.
What?
Well, his first ball is a little bit short of a length. Rears up a bit at Azza.
Oh, you calm down, son.
Who, and that sets off again for a pointless run. Best comes in. It's Best, isn't it? Or is that
It was
Ollie
Best.
Pope?
I think it was Best, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it must be Best.
Josh Robinson says, no one else brings booze? What?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Well, I bring milk
Yeah,
and donuts.
yeah, that's true. The donuts were rather good.
Usman Ghani on YouTube has asked us a question. Why Root is out of form? Well, I think if people knew the answer to that...
Well,
then,
yeah, he'd be in form. Maybe it's because he's captain.
I'll ask him tonight.
He keeps driving at loose ones outside off stump. But a lot of batsmen do. Vince is extremely good at that.
Is the captaincy getting to him?
Yeah, possibly. He'll come good. He didn't do that bad in Australia, to be fair. That's a filthy ball down the leg side by Wood, and as I can't catch up with it, so it goes through at the keeper and ain't no run.
Adelaide Barmy's just confirmed the pitch is 22 yards, therefore one chain. Old school measurement.
Uh-huh.
You know that?
One chain.
A chain.
Chain. So where did the chain actually come from? What part of the industry used that then, I wonder?
A standard 22-yard long chain, I wonder. I don't know.
It was probably a farming measurement.
Probably, yeah. Full again this time. Played out into the offside. And Rooty, having stationed himself at mid-off, can't pick that up. They're not having a chance for a run-out. Had he picked it up cleanly, but he didn't. And they get through for a single.
Bit like hands for horse size.
Yeah,
Isn't
it did bobble just before he got there.
Looks at the pitch accusingly.
Yeah, that's fair enough. He did rear a little bit.
Hands it must be bigger than hands.
What's that?
I mean, horses are like sort of 7 hands or something.
Yeah.
17, 18.
Do you do
Yeah.
that?
I don't know. Is it sideways?
Sideways span, I thought, like
Is
that.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then it depends how big your hands are,
Why
doesn't
don't
it?
they just get bloody tape measure and do it? I mean,
Well,
Well, they probably didn't
sake.
have them then, did they?
Oh,
That's why they
that's
measured it in hands.
Alex Payton says, does the Bear wish for a crate or a keg on Saturday?
Oh, crate's better.
It may be a 4-pack as I need to take public transport.
Nah.
I'd like to see you with a keg on your shoulders on the bus.
Yeah.
And getting up that hill, that would be fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Good exercise. Woods in, bowls to Harris, who tentatively defends down out into the mid-wicket area where it's fielded and there's no run.
Diane Patterson says, chair is a surveyor's chain. I reckon she probably means chain is surveyor's chain, does she?
Oh, okay.
Does it come from surveyors?
Oh, possibly.
We
yeah.
should talk about the GPL actually.
Oh, yes.
We had a range of 212.
And we've got 184, so it's 204. 207 we're on at the moment. We've still got the best part of 3/4 of an hour left there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the 270 mark.
Okie dokie. Oh, driven out inside edge. 89 miles an hour. It's a pretty quick ball. And it's fielded by Stoneman down at long leg.
I think the 333 is
It's well out of it.
possibly
That's Tim Park.
unlikely. But a bunch of people in the 270 mark. That could be interesting.
Abhishek Chopra wants to know, when will we have jingles for commentators? Please state your preferences, if any. Well, you know,
There were some.
down to the jingle meisters, the usual suspects probably.
That's Azza plays that, picked up on a line of just outside off stump probably, clips it into the leg side, vacant, down towards deep mid wicket where it's fielded. He gets back for 2.
You could do the Bear, not Fred, Knackle, Hendo, that bloke Nestle boy, Men with Van, Andy Ward,
And others.
and others.
It's looking quite,
Do your favourites.
it's looking quite dark out there.
Very
Well,
dark.
that's one of the things I found in when we were in Malahide. It looked quite dark out there, but I could still clearly see the ball from the boundary.
Adam Smith says the railway still use miles and change for track distances.
Oh, really?
And Diane Patterson says, sorry, I'm typing and knitting at the same time.
Wow, that's good going.
Just picture it.
Well,
How
what are
can
you knitting?
Type and knit at the same time, and
Well-
actually the same time. It's impossible, surely.
And Katie Scott, of course, equine expert. A hand is 4 inches, 10 centimetres. Ponies are up to 14.2 hands, 14 hands and 2 inches, and horses are larger than that.
okay.
There you go.
5 slips.
We learn everything on here, don't we?
We do. We've got 5 slits. We've got the lights on. There's a bit of shadowness coming down on the slips. Cookies at first. Looks like he's getting... Wow. Broad bowls that just outside the off stump of Harris, who leads it. It's either a very good lead or he got lucky.
That came back
That
a
did
little
come
bit,
back and it just missed the off stump.
Well, that was coat of varnish.
It was indeed.
Well, no,
No,
not
a
quite.
little bit more, but it was a good ball. Good leave. He's on 9 of 21, as is 10 of 30. 26 for 1 off 11.1 overs. And Broad's just making fine adjustments to his field. We've got a couple of YouTubers there.
Yes, not entirely comprehensible.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I can chat as Knuckle Panda. Should I put something in there?
Thrown up too wide of the off stump this time by Broady.
You can chat
Harris
as Knuckle
leads it
Panda?
comfortably.
Yeah, because
No
it's
one-
open as his account.
No,
so I can.
you can. Katie Scott says, oh, hang on. Lurk, L-I-R-C. Lurk?
L-I... What?
L-I-R-C. A chain is 1/10 of a furlong.
Oh,
A piece
okay.
of land, one chain by 1 furlong, is how much a man and horse can plough in 1 hour. Or something like that.
If I recall correctly.
It looks like an L. Sorry. I don't understand these.
Sorry, so a chain is what?
1/10 of a furlong.
Okay.
A piece of land, one chain by 1 furlong, is how much a man and horse can plough in 1 hour. Or something like that.
Okay. So a
And-
furlong is a tenth. So
Well, I
it's
can't
200
plough anything. So
No,
what does
I
that mean?
220 yards is a furlong then. Around the wicket Broad, it's into the pads of Harris.
We should get
Who
Grubby in here
defends.
to talk about furlongs.
I have
totally-
actually ploughed a field.
No run. Really?
Voluntarily? You weren't
Yeah,
drunk or something?
No.
Oh.
Well, my dad, who used to be a landscape gardener, had several rotivators, and I actually ploughed a field one day with
with a tractor?
No, I didn't sit on it. It was you had to
Oh.
walk behind it, and ploughed a field.
Oh
So
no, I
you walked behind the
rotivate.
plough?
I did rotivate my own garden when I remade
okay.
it. That was good fun.
Oh no, this was a sports field. I did.
Oh, no.
Bloody fucking knackering, I tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
What, walking?
This petrol thing was heavy, man.
Ooh, fished that outside the off stump by Harris as Broad remains around the wicket. Went away from him.
Now we
Beat the
do
outside edge and there's no run.
care, Diana, about what she's knitting, don't we?
Yes.
A cardigan with Shetland lace and cables.
Wow. Nice.
For us, has it got Guerilla cricket on the front or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Is it cable knit like the England sweaters?
Could be. Abhishek Chokra says to Katie, wasn't it a team of oxen? Horses don't plough, right? No, horses do
Horses
plough here.
do, shire horses, that's what they were used for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Big old bastards, them. Broad around the wicket to Harris. He takes a little step across his stumps and then defends it out into covers, and there's no run.
Jeff Perkins wants to know, is rotivate my own garden a euphemism?
No,
Um,
I rotivated my own garden.
Josh Robinson says a furlong by a chain, i.e. 10 square chains, is an acre. There's a building going up in Bishopsgate, and the reception on the ground floor, the size of it is 1/4 of an acre
Jesus.
for the reception, ground floor
I
reception.
thought an acre is basically like 1/2 of a football field, approximately, something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Rohitman Sharmaji is saying hello, gentlemen. I think.
Hello.
Hello.
I think.
Angled in again to Harris's pads. He defends comfortably enough up to mid-on, and there is no run. I think ends the over. Or does end the over.
Well, my mother and father's garden in Thaden was an acre, so 1/4 of that is big
Yeah.
when I think about that reception.
A football field can't be 2 acres. It's bollocks.
Why?
Well, they're all different sizes, aren't they?
Well, no, they're about 100 yards by. Well,
Highbury was tiny, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, but they're not 100
smaller.
yards by 100 yards.
No, they're 100 yards by about 50 yards.
And they're saying a chain is a tenth of a furlong. But if they're saying a chain is the length of a football field, length of a cricket pitch, and it's 22 yards, and is a tenth of a furlong, which is 220 yards, then clearly, and an acre is 10 chains by 10 chains, which is basically a furlong by a furlong.
I've got a good one here.
That's 220 yards by 220 yards. That's nonsense. That's not a football pitch.
Oh, so maybe it's a football pitch is half an
Quarter,
acre,
maybe?
or not.
That's kind of edgy by Azza. It looks like he's trying to play it straight, and it moved enough by Wood just to catch the outside half of the bat, goes out to cover, and there's no run.
I've got a cracker from Tony Bishop.
Okay, Tony.
A furlong is a unit of measurement applied to England batsmen.
They're not in furlong.
They won't bat for long.
Oh, boom, boom.
Excellent.
Ah, look. Wazim looks very happy. Probably taking a piss out of David Lloyd.
Not difficult, to be fair.
Yeah. Woody in again.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
there's an
too
appeal
high.
for Obi. It's too high. I thought it caught the outside edge of the bat. But probably not. And I've noticed Wood, for me, isn't he the only person who's got his reaction times below 0.5 of a second?
What does that tell us that speed of the ball doesn't?
I don't know. Well, they show up the speed afterwards as well. No, he did miss it. Yeah, it's going over the top,
too
I reckon.
high.
It
It's
tells
too high.
us that Sky had a meeting and that came out of it.
Yeah, we want more stats.
Diana Patterson confirms the cable's are real cables, such as on a proper cricket jumper. Only this is not intended for cricket, but to wear at a conference on printing in business.
Okay. Defended by Azza. Square onto the offside. It's fielded by Bess, and there's no run.
Josh Robinson's going to complicate your brain further, Bear.
Uh-huh.
An acre isn't a furlong by a furlong, but a furlong by a chain. 10 square chains, not 100.
Oh, right. 10 square chains. Okay. So,
The things you learn.
I still can't picture it, but anyway.
well, that's
I'm
a long,
stupid.
thin thing, but they do it by square, so... okay. Wood in. Short. Good ball. Well swayed out of the way by Azza in the end. It goes through to Bairstow and there's no run.
Give me something to picture, and I'll picture it.
A football field.
Is what?
I want to know.
An acre?
I'm going to Google it just for you.
How many acres in a football field?
I'm going to ask Siri. How many acres in a football field?
Hey Siri, you have to say.
Siri, shit.
You have to say, hey Siri.
Then you have to ask Siri. That's left alone through the keeper and there's no run. Hey Siri. How many acres in a football field? 1.322 acres. According to NFL standard.
Ooh.
That's
Oh,
American.
that's American.
Football.
Which is pretty similar size, though, isn't it? They play NFL at Wembley. So I was wrong.
We're
Okay.
all wrong.
So we're all happy
The
now.
important thing is that we learned.
Yeah, we did. And we taught everyone around the world who's listening.
Ooh.
Oh, fished that as an appeal by Bairstow. Yeah, he didn't really get anything that was half an appeal.
90
He went
miles
up.
an hour, that was.
Yeah, he's quick, 4.497 over reaction time.
It's just 90
What?
miles an hour. That's
Well, exactly. Well, they're trying to get that thing, isn't there? That thing, if it's under half a second or the speedy. We did this with when we were doing with a sofa, and some sports dude came in, and above 90 miles an hour, the brain can't react in time or something stupid like that.
well,
So it's purely on instinct.
maybe.
It was just it's a physical fact or something.
You see a red dot and you just swing at it, basically.
Pretty much. And everything's given away by the position of the hand and how it's. And when they let go of it is when you make your choice. The brain subconsciously chooses that point because it's seen so many balls, I guess, when you're at this level and at that speed that you know exactly where it's going to go. Or you assume that's where it's going to go. That's why uneven bounce is so dangerous, etc., etc. That's supposedly the thinking behind it, anyway. So maybe they're doing that because of that, because they're trying to say, oh, and he couldn't have reacted to that time in that time, and therefore.
Yeah.
Right, we can
That
go
can be
till,
my only thoughts.
till 6:30 tonight.
One
can't we?
presumes so. We should be having a
we
change
should have a change
shortly.
in about 4 or 5 minutes, something like that.
Dave and David Knackle should come in, and Knackle should do some ball by ball, and me and you should have a break, Fred. We've done 2 in a row, haven't we? The pair of us.
I shall tackle the rush hour traffic.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a pain. I'll have to wait to the end. It'll be easier. Broad comes in, and Harris Hale gets it past the slip cauldron. Down... Cauldron? Cauldron.
Thank you, Ashley.
Down towards third man. They come back for 2. He's moving on to 11. 28 for 1.
Sock called it a cauldron. A cauldron the other day.
A cauldron?
Yeah.
Nice.
He'd also had a few.
Josh,
Nice to see him out there.
Yeah, it was.
Josh Robinson says an association football field is about 2 acres.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I said half a football field is
Well,
an acre.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And I said, that's crap. I was totally wrong. I apologise.
It's all approximate. Anyway, has no relevance in the real world.
Harris is going to face up. They seem to have got themselves in now, these two. They're batting a lot more confident than they were, obviously, when they came in. Asad Shafiq's next man in. He's looking pensive in the back of the box. I don't think he probably wants to come out in this light. I mean, this is it. So he can get a couple of wickets that can really... that's too wide of the off stump. Round the wicket, swinging from Brody, but it goes through to the keeper and there's no run.
Martin White says, ask anything American any question on any subject, and the answer will invariably be more guns. With apologies to Cricket Vixen. Abhishek Chopra says, anyone who tunes in right now will consider Guerilla Cricket in its list as mad, given how so much Wibble is about measurement and not my cricket story versus yours. But that's how we roll, folks. Indeed,
it is indeed. Oh, look.
We veer off sometimes.
We do. Flashed out by Harris, but it didn't catch the outside edge. Round the wicket, Broad. It was full. There was a little bit of swing. He drove it hard. How he didn't get an edge, I don't know.
Broad has a word.
He does have a word. He's not happy.
That was very close to the edge.
It was a bit of a scrambled seam. Yeah, it was a full-blooded drive at that. And it just nipped past the outside edge. Went of little enough. Well, too much, I suppose, off the seam, clearly, because it didn't catch the edge.
A little too much enough.
Yeah.
We're struggling with measurements today here.
Yeah.
That was a yard.
A chain. An acre.
Here comes Broad around the wicket. 3 balls to go till I'll be out of here. It's leg buys. It's going to be 4 of them. All the way down there to a very fine leg.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Martin White says, I got hit in the box once and the result was 2 acres, if that's any help.
Boom, boom. What was my bet? Have I lost it?
I don't know, Ben. What was your bet?
No, I've got Liverpool at 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, you've lost it.
No, one.
No, I've lost it. I had under 31.5, I think. Bugger. I might have another go when I get off.
Brody.
Exactly. Catch the edge. Here we go. Thrown up too wide of the off stump this time and left alone by Harris through to the keeper, and there's no run. It's been some quite good bowling by England. I don't think they've made him play enough, really, to be honest. Pitch is doing a bit, and the air is doing a bit.
They always say the TV pictures don't tell you how dark it is, and I wonder how dark it is there.
Well, that's what I was saying when we were in Ireland. When it seemed quite dark, and you'd imagine on TV it would look quite dark. It looked quite dark on a monitor. It wasn't actually that dark. And why are they going off? You know, you can clearly see the 85-mile-an-hour ball from the boundary. You must be able to see it as a batsman. Left alone outside the off stump, and it goes through to the keeper. And there's no run. That's the end of the over. It's the end of mine and Fred Spurls for the day. Men with Ven is going to come in to...
I'm going to play one of his jingles.
You're
going to
stay there. Yeah, he's going to go in and do some jingles. Knackle's going to come and do some commentary. I will see you tomorrow. Are you in tomorrow, Fred?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, Fred will see you tomorrow. So until then, from us two, it'll be goodbye.
Driving from Barking to Deptford.
More brutal than a Brett Lee bouncer. Sweeter than Sangakkara caressing the covers. More complicated than Shane Warne's cosmetic surgery. Men with Ven. Driving from Barking to Deptford. www.menwithven.biz.
Driving from Barking to Deptford.
And Abhishek Chopra comes back saying, please accept my contribution to this discussion. A light year is a unit of distance, not time. Example, cricket and hashtag 100 ball bullshit are many light years away from each other.
A parsec is a measure of distance, not time, despite what Han Solo might think.
I thought parsec was something they only had in science fiction.
No, it's a real astronomical measurement. Also, a association football pitch is approximately 1.76 acres.
Okay.
So let's put a little cap on that discussion. Mark Wood will continue as some people are helped.
It's taking a lot of parsecs to get out of that door, isn't it?
It's a measure of distance, not time.
Stop being so pedantic.
In comes a Wood outside off stump. Azhar Ali onto the back foot, pushes out to cover, and there is no run. Pakistan 32 for 1 with I think we've probably got about 16 overs or so left in the day's play. Whether we will get them all in or not is another matter. I'm Knuckle Mpande. I'll be taking you through the final knockings of what's been an absorbing and for England potentially calamitous day 1, although they do still have time to get themselves back into the game with Pakistan really on the defensive from here on out until the end of play. Mark Wood outside off stump, too wide. Azhar Ali has nothing to do with it. Through to the keeper, there is no run. I am joined by the voice you just heard, the man to my left, Nestle Boy on the tweets.
Right.
And our generous benefactor, not to say overlord, for today, Men with Ven.
I would go with benefactor and overlord, actually.
Yes, fine. Nursing a glass of something inadvisable.
No, that's a little
Rum,
bit
innit?
of rum.
Just-
a little bit of rum to see you through the end of the
It's
day.
a little bit of rum and a whole lot of nothing else.
Yeah.
I
think
Wood's been the quickest bowler on show for either side, but that's outside off stump. And again, Azhar Ali is not going to be tempted by that, and there is no run.
rum is a very underrated drink. I think you can drink it on its own.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
You're sort of supping it.
I used to be partial to a rum and coke at one stage.
Yeah, well, no, that's more of a teenager drink, isn't it?
Yeah, I was to say
We're drinking
at
some-
one point.
Um,
I was a teenager.
our penultimate night in Malahide was a Rog pineapple inspired rum night out in central Dublin. Wood jumps wide on the crease, and bowls wide of the stumps, and Azhar Ali leaves through to the keeper. There is no run. The night that was remarked upon in the last of our cricketer blogs. Irish mules and Caribbean mules and various other types of mule.
Mayank says, I'm just here to let you all know England is doomed. Carry on. Thank
Maybe.
you. We don't know that.
Ben Stokes is warming up aggressively. We should be seeing him soon. Hopefully we'll see Dom Bess for more than 1 over. In comes Wood, bowling from mid-crease. Just completely dies through to Johnny Bairstow. Azhar Ali has not had to play a single ball in this over as yet.
Well,
It was a complete waste of time.
As Bear said just before he left, they're not making Pakistan play.
Nope.
It's just,
No, they're not. It's been an issue with England wasting the new ball in favourable conditions. One thinks back to the first morning at Adelaide in the day-night test, where Broad and Anderson bowled one of the worst opening spells I've ever seen. It was just hideous nonsense at 2 feet outside off stump. Wood in back of a length, a little bit tighter to off stump, but the bounce meant that Azhar Ali could leave through to Johnny Bairstow. A completely unthreatening maiden for Mark Wood after 15 overs. Pakistan 32 for 1, trail by 152. That's right, England got bowled out for 184 just after tea on the first day. Alistair Cook made 70, but the next highest score was Ben Stokes with 38, and only Bairstow and Butler of the rest made it into double figures. Mohammad Abbas and Hassan Ali took 4 wickets each. Mohammad Amir and Fahim Ashraf took 1 wicket each. The men that Pakistan have lost, Imam ul Haq, LBW, on review to Stuart Broad for 4, and coming on from the nursery end, it's this ginge.
I got up in Stokes and he called me a oh, if I'd only seen that Ben Stokes was so mean. And he called me up, said he'd punch my said I made him. The arm looked up and said, "You angry red."
Right arm over from the nursery end to the left-handed Haris Sahel. This one leaps off a length and strikes Haris Sahel somewhere on the thigh pad and dribbles out into the offside. There is no run. Haris Sahel 11, Azhar Ali 10. Haris has looked quite comfortable when it's been on his pad, but has flirted a couple outside off stump, particularly from Jimmy Anderson.
Abhishek Chopra says, I have a feeling there is a space for meta GC commentary. Wibble about the wibble, you know.
Oh, we wibble about wibbling all the time.
And Darkest Peru has just joined us. He spent the day in meetings, just seen the score. Probably best I wasn't following the innings.
In comes Stokes, a little wider on the crease. Leg stump half volley with Haris Sahel just times out through mid-wicket. There is a man who can run round from deep square leg to field. Haris Sahel will come back for 2.
And our very own Jason Hiscock has tweeted in saying,
Nice.
what can one say apart from, for fuck's sake, England?
One can say there were some very, very good deliveries that got wickets. There were some batsmen back when they should have been forward, and there were some
Good
iffy
bowling.
shots. There was some good bowling, but not brilliant bowling.
That was decent enough.
In comes Stokes.
Talking of
decent enough, yeah. Full delivery, just holding its line. Haris Sahel pushing outside off stump, beaten on the outside edge through to Johnny Bairstow. There is no run.
The Ben Stokes jingle should be used in textbooks. It's an example of the comedy value of bleeps, says Darkest Peru.
Absolutely. Sometimes bleeps are funnier.
I want to know what the other bleeps are for on it, because I'm not quite sure what the swear words would
Well,
be. I know the obvious one, but...
Honestly, I've listened to the uncensored version. The bleeped one's better.
It's
You
funnier.
don't need to know.
Funnier.
Full, almost a Yorker, but slightly floats up to Haris Sahel, who just drops a bat on this, and it is fielded by fourth slip, and there is no run. I'm not quite sure whether that was hitting the stumps, but neither was Haris Sahel, so he thought, let's just defend this anyway and live to block another day. Stokes is not quite bowling at full pace as yet, but he is bowling with his collar turned up, so there's that.
And he's got those kind of medical things. They look like medical things.
Tubey
on
grip.
his arms.
Tubey
Yeah.
grip. Well, there wasn't even an appeal as this one strikes Haris Sahel on the pad, clearly going down leg, and it's a leg by out to Joe Root at mid-off. In fact, no, inside edge, because it's been given a run to Haris Sahel, so a thick inside edge, taking the ball down the leg side. No wonder Ben Stokes didn't appeal. Even Johnny Bairstow from behind the stumps didn't appeal. Pakistan 35 for 1, 1 ball left in this, the 16th over of Pakistan's first innings. They trail by 149 because, as we say, England were bowled out for 184 just after tea, losing 5 for 26 after tea. In comes Stokes, back of a length. Azhar Ali takes one hand off the bat and works this out to square leg, and it was misfielded by, I think that's David Milan there at square leg, who misfielded, and they can come through for the single. End of the over, 36 for 1.
There are no tweets.
Nobody?
Nobody? You can tweet us.
impressive.
You
They've
can
tweeted themselves out.
You can
this
tweet
lot.
us at Guerilla Cricket. Yeah, so they lost. So England were at tea, 165 for 5. So they lost. What is that? So it's 5 for 19, in fact,
Oh, God.
in
That's
6
not good.
overs.
That's not good.
Sod the cricket. Let's talk about Ben Stokes' tattoos.
Ooh, I don't like them.
One of them is of a fern.
That'll be a New Zealand fern, presumably,
he's
given
from New
his
Zealand.
heritage.
Yeah,
Or,
given his heritage. Which is part Maori.
Wood is in, bowling from wide on the crease. At least makes Azhar play on that one, but play off the back foot and just drops this into the offside. There is no run.
He also wanted a phrase that he wanted to live by, and that phrase is, it's quite a long one, be the best you can be. Oh, hold on, I think we're going to need another ball before this comes in. No, be the best you can be is only possible if you desire to be a champion and your fear of failure is non-existent. Right.
That needed some subbing, I think, that one. Just
Yeah.
sort of, it's a nice sentiment, just sort of beat it into shape a little bit more.
I like the story of the guy in America who went to get a tattoo on his chest, I love mother and father, and I'll break off.
Wood is in full and nicely driven by Azhar, but well fielded by Broad at mid-on rather, sliding around to his left. Good cricket all round.
And the guy who, he didn't realise, the guy who was doing the tattoo was a bit high on something, and when he came out, he had I love murder and farting written across his chest.
And who doesn't?
And I think that's a brilliant tattoo to have.
It's just such a non sequitur.
Yeah.
Murder by farting would have been even better.
Sounds like a Midsummer Murders episode. Wood bowling from mid-crease, nonsense outside off stump. Azhar leaves through to the keeper. There is no run. Azhar 11's 11 on off 46 and doesn't care.
And more tattoo news about Ben Stokes, which you really don't need to know, is
we do.
he has His numbers, 658, his test number, his 2020 number, 58, and his ODI number, 221, tattooed on the top of his right shoulder. More tattoo news coming.
Bloody hell.
Oh no, it goes on now.
Wood is in, and Azarelli is half forward, outside off stump, thick inside edge, I think, because the bat rather turned in his hands and squirts into the leg side, and there is no run. Excuse me, listeners, for the sneeze.
And excuse me for giving you more Ben Stokes tattoo news, but he also has the names of his children, Leighton and Libby, and I'm not sure he's got any more space for any more kids. So
Leighton Stokes?
Leighton Stokes. Leighton Stones, yeah, that's good. And in comes Wood again.
Wood have a slight sort of purple tint to his head. Jumps wide on the crease and forces Azarelli into playing at this one a little bit fuller this time, and genuinely beat Azarelli outside off stump through to the keeper. There is no run.
And carrying on with the Ben Stokes tattoo news.
I don't know if it's just the colouring on our TV. There seems to be an awful lot of purple. There's some purple in the caps, and there's Jimmy Anderson and Mark Wood's hair both look a little bit purpley.
I'm coming to the caps, mate. I'm coming to the caps in a minute. He also has a Drake lyric written on his right arm, lower down.
Mm-hmm.
Many people respect you, trouble neglect you, angels protect you, heaven accept you.
Last ball of the over is a bouncer, which Azarelli saw coming a mile off and just ducks underneath it through to Johnny Bairstow. A better over from Wood, slightly better anyway. 17 overs gone, Pakistan 36 for 1.
He also has a phoenix rising from the ashes on his forearm, his right forearm. The symbolism being that when a phoenix is down, it gets back up again and gets stronger.
And you're never going to keep me down?
You're never going to keep me down. Although I'm not sure whether he is a Chumbawamba fan. Now, don't get me started on the caps.
I just have.
Oh, now next time we have a look at Joe Root's cap, the little gold badge. Everyone's got a white badge. He's got a gold one. Right. There hasn't been much written about this or said about this, but it's a bit tacky.
Stokes bowling his second over, goes wide on the crease, and this is two-leg sidey, and Hadi Sahel can just clip this off his thigh, and off his hip rather, and just works this out for a single. James Vince is on the field. Sorry, that's Mark Stoneman. That makes sense. I knew it was someone. I knew it generally. If it's someone you can't identify, it's Mark Stoneman. He's out there at square leg and fielding. And Hadi Sahel has been very comfortable whenever the ball has been on his pads. We've said this a couple of times throughout the day. Is that all the trouble has been around sort of off stump and fourth stump just outside off, which makes sense. Azarelli just backs away, just checking that the fielders are still where he thought they were. In comes Ben Stokes, right arm over, up to the wicket now, bowls outside off stump and full, trying to tempt Azarelli into a drive. Azarelli is not tempted into a drive, through to the keeper, and there is no run.
London Chris QPR wants the Ben Stokes song again, and the trouser trumpets say, beeps and jingles make your balls tingle.
Thanks.
And Savan Gosh says, Pakistan is fighting very hard through their young guns.
Yeah, Azarelli's not a young gun. He's a very experienced Test cricketer of 50-something tests. The Test match 100. But yeah, Hadi Sahel, Imam, I think, did quite well up to a point. Certainly left well. This is tighter to off stump. Azarelli can't leave and just jabs the bat down into the offside. There is no run.
We've got a bit of a quiz from Abhishek Chopra.
Yes.
Here's an easy one. VVS Laxman, Asanka Gurishina, Craig Braithwaite, John Reid, Graham Gooch, Herbie Taylor, Saeed Ahmed. What list is this? Who's the missing Aussie? Hints available on request.
You say Gooch and Craig Braithwaite?
Yep. VVS Laxman, Asanka Gurishina, Craig Braithwaite, John Reid, Graham Gooch, Herbie Taylor, and
outside off stump, and this through to Johnny Bairstow, and there is no run. It can't.
They all had gonorrhea at some point in their lives.
Hundreds in each innings was Shy Hope, wasn't it? Craig Braithwaite.
Well, hints. We'll have a hint.
Hundreds after following on.
Can we phone a friend?
Hundreds after following on.
I like that.
VVS certainly did it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the Australian then? I'm trying to think who it might be.
Who's the missing Aussie?
Is that the correct link, though, Abhishek? Because then I can try and work it out.
There's 3 missing Aussies at the moment, right?
He says there's 2 questions here. He says, what is this list? And
yeah,
who's the missing Aussie?
So once you've worked out the link, the rest of it can be done more easily. Stokes in, full and driven squirtily by Azarelli, past sort of fourth slip come gully, down to the third man boundary. Azarali finally moves off 11 to 15 with 4.
Oh, yes.
Pakistan 41 for 1.
He's reading about Ben Stokes' tattoo.
I know. I was.
Smack that. Smack that.
It was reasonably well controlled, but
I love the word squirtily.
well, it was quite. I mean, he was definitely trying to get the ball behind square. I don't know if it was meant to quite go that fine behind square, but it was all on the ground, so no harm done. Stokesy an outside off stump, just too short, too wide, and Azarali leaves through to Johnny Bairstow, Pakistan after 18 overs, a 41 for 1. David Smout said, if you want a good bleep song, then Monty Python's I Bet You They Won't Play This Song on the Radio is a good bet. We're seeing the wickets from earlier. Stoneman bowled by Mohammad Abbas. Joe Root wafting ridiculously at a wide ball from Hassan Ali.
Boycott won't be happy with that one.
No one should be happy with that. Good ball from Hassan Ali, which just seamed away at the last minute from Davin Milan. Then we had Fahim Ashraf getting one to just hold its line up the seam and bowl Johnny Bairstow. We had Mohammad Amir Castle Alistair Cook with an absolute beauty. He does tend to save his best deliveries for the opposition's best batsman, which is not a bad tactic.
Gold back look.
Yeah, again, he's hiding it,
But you can see
with the mirrored sunglasses.
And he's been hiding it deliberately because he knows it's so twatty.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
I think Joe Root has been given a gold badge, like a head boy star.
I think the badge on his cap is a little gold.
The 3 lions.
Yeah.
It's so
it's
clear.
the ECB's logo. In comes Wood to the left-handed Haj Sahel, who plays this nicely. Well controlled out to backward point off the front foot. There is no run.
Okay. Well, that's what the captain gets now.
We think.
I really, really hope not. It's so tough.
This is just
This
is just an observation that we've come up with over the course of today.
A bit like the Premier League champions who get the gold.
But that's
Premier
on
League
purpose,
thing, isn't it?
That's on purpose. They've been doing that for ages.
I think they've been doing
it.
Well,
that's not on purpose.
I just noticed.
Were they
announced it?
Well, they announced that and made it a big thing, like a special thing. No other country does this, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, but it brings the women and the kids in, doesn't it?
Outside off stump and driven nicely by Haris Sahel, this time to extra cover. Just putting the bat there, and if he misses...
It's gold badge. It's tacky.
It is.
Shit.
There's also the gold number on the back.
No,
on the back of the cap.
Number.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is so awful.
And it's not even proper gold.
Shame.
It's not even proper gold. It's just sort of off yellow.
Maybe he washed it with some socks.
It could be that. He just put it in there with a gold shirt.
That he's bound to have.
Yeah.
Scott Devine on YouTube says, I had to leave for a long meeting. Did we declare guerrilla warfare on that Indian bot who banned us from Facebook Live? Yes, the bear tried to launch an airstrike. But was defeated by customer support. This is a half volley on leg stump, which Haris Sahel just gratefully flicks to deep square leg for a single move to 16.
Bear versus customer support was an excellent movie. We witnessed it in the green room. It just
went nowhere, didn't it?
And he was just batting his head literally against a brick wall.
Blokes just
indifference.
Fuck off. That question, Sean Barry says. That list, is it a pair on debut?
I don't think so. It's not an it's not an exhaustive list though. Gooch definitely got a pair on debut, but so did Dean Elgar, and so, as we saw in Malahide, did Andrew Balburney.
Scandi Andy's with us.
Hello, Scandi Andy. How are you?
For some reason, my earworm for the last hour has been Imam ul Haq to the tune of Blankety Blank.
Imam ul Haq.
Last time I had that tune in my head was when a mate pointed out that Wank on the Bus fitted the tune perfectly.
Wank on the bus.
Wank on the bus.
Interesting. Joe Root, the captain, has put himself at James Taylor Deep's short leg. Under the helmet. In comes Wood. Perhaps they're thinking that Wood's managing to extract some bounce from the pavilion end, but Azhar Ali just covers up comfortably and pushes into the offside for a single.
Abhishek Chokra says the missing Aussie tops this list and has done so for a long, long time.
Oh, Charles Bannerman. So it's highest percentage of the team's runs in innings.
Is that right, Abhishek?
Let us know. That was a long time. Charles Bannerman's, that's the longest surviving record in international cricket.
Okay.
Because it was set in the very first Test match. He got something like 67% of his team's innings score in the for Australia in that first ever Test match in 1877.
Let's see if you're right.
What was VVS's? I'm trying to think when VVS's might have been. Was that his 50 in the first innings of that Calcutta Test? I'm trying to think. Wood is going to come, I think, round the wicket to the left-handed Haris Sahel. 3 slips and a gully. We have a point, we have a mid-off, a mid-on. I think 2 men back on the hook as well.
Jeff Perkins backs you up there, Knackle. highest percentage of runs in the completed test innings, surely.
Wood in, strikes Harris Sahel on the back pad, and the umpire has a think about it, has another think about it, and then says no. Mark Wood is imploring with the umpire to give this out. He's imploring with his captain to review it. Joe, why is Dom? How did Dom Best get into this meeting? He's been sent away again, and they decided not to review it.
Sod you, Knackle, for working that out before I hit tweet, says Jeff Perkins.
Okay.
You'll never beat the Knackle when it comes to stats.
It struck him high on the back pad. There's I think the percentages were not in Mark Wood's favour. I suspect that would have been umpire's call on a number of things, perhaps, but it's hit him high in front of the middle stump, and it's just going over the top, actually. I thought it might be umpire's call on the top of leg stump, but no. Fair enough, he is getting some bounce from this and goes wider on the crease. Strikes him on the pad again, and a diving attempt from Ben Stokes. Was there a thick inside edge onto the pad? It didn't look like there was. Ben Stokes is grimacing, though, as though he may have put down a catch. We're having a look at Ben Stokes close up. Did Harris Sahel get a thick inside edge and rebound onto the pad?
He's just realised.
Off the... then into the slip. So having another look at this. Leading edge, in fact. Big leading edge. Ben Stokes has dived across to his right and completely put off David Milan at second slip. I mean, I guess you've got to go for it if you're going to go. If you say you're going to go for it, and he did go for it, but he's been dropped. Harris Sahel dropped on 16 by Ben Stokes off the bowling of Mark Wood, who is making his return to Test cricket. It was a good delivery, squared up Harris Sahel, got a thick leading edge, and it would have been a simple catch from the land, but we've seen Stokes take some blinders. You're not going to begrudge Stokes going for anything. Interestingly, Josh Butler at gully, and by Stokes' standards, that's quite an easy catch, and possibly should have gone with two hands.
But if it is going to do that, you should be standing wider.
But he has a chance to make amends with the ball as he starts the 20th over, back of a length, and Azhar Ali works to forward square leg. There is no run.
Abhishek Chopra says, take points, Jeff and Knackle.
Thank you.
The first two in the overall list are both Aussies, Bannerman and who else? Hashtag follow-up question.
Oh, so highest percentage of runs in a team's runs in completed innings. Bradman must be. He's got every other record. In comes Ben Stokes outside off stump, and Azhar Ali just defends from the crease out to cover point, and there is no run.
You'd have to say you're probably right there.
Unless it's a trick question, it was Jason Gillespie with his double 100 following on. David Milan's jumper is extremely white. He's been at some sort of Eastern European detergent. Stokes sort of dived half-heartedly to his right, and then really David Milan had no chance once it got past Ben Stokes. He would have had to have been very lucky for that to stick, given that he barely saw the ball after Stokes dived across him. An angry bouncer from an angry Stokes and taken by Johnny Bairstow, easily ducked by Azhar Ali, which is not going to improve Ben Stokes' mood.
You don't have time in the slips to consider.
No,
I'll leave this. You just instinct, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe they should be standing wider though, as you say, to make it more obvious who catches whom.
Don't you do that? The hands.
We saw the Irish slip fielder actually pushing each other to maintain the right spacing. There were still a couple of dropped catches though.
He is too close.
He's a little bit
in front.
He's a bit. Well, I mean, the stagger is sort of all right. The third slip, I think, is Jimmy Anderson when Stokes is bowling, and is quite close to second. That's pushed by Azhar Ali and. Driven up to Captain Joe Root at mid-off.
Gold bags.
Not Bradman, Knackle.
Not Bradman, okay.
Jeff Perkins says Slater.
Interesting.
Short third man says, apart from Anderson Broad, it's been inconsistent bowling from England. Way too many on leg stump or short of a length wide outside off. Yeah,
Wood's been better in the last couple of overs. Stokes has been a little unthreatening so far. It's always going to be the case that you need people to back up your opening bowlers. In comes Ben Stokes, a little wider on the crease. And Azhar Ali pushes at it. Would have gone straight through where the on Hayden was. There is no on Hayden. Very rarely has anyone ever actually seen a catch taken there. But that seemed to get big on Azhar Ali and just off the splice, off the maker's name, and he was not quite sure. Just stopped the shot and it looped up. Short on the leg side, but there's no one there, so there is no catch, and there is indeed no run.
It was Michael Slater.
Good. When was it?
2-1 to Jeff.
Yeah, interesting, thank you. Last ball of Stokes' third over, the 20th of the innings, outside off stump. Azhar Ali just pushes on the bounce to gully, There is no run. Ben Stokes could not make amends for his dropped. If you're just joining us, Haris Sahel dropped on 16 by Ben Stokes off the bowling of Mark Wood.
And he actually says, Michael, shit comms, Slater. So grateful we have Guerilla Cricket.
Oh, thank you.
We're grateful.
When was that innings
we have you.
when was that innings from Slater?
Yeah,
I don't recall that off the top of my head. After 20 overs, Pakistan are 43 for 1. They won't really care what the score is as long as it's for 1 at the end of today's play. They'd be quite happy being 46 for 1 at the end of today.
Yeah, so...
Mark,
Yep. Anderson looked great when he was bowling.
He did. Just bowled the odd one a little bit too short, and it was just there was lots beating the bat that the batsman didn't really have a chance to edge because it was doing too much from that shorter length. This is Mark Wood continuing into Haris Sahel again on middle and leg. Haris has no problem working this around the corner for a single, moves to 17.
So we've gone quiet on the tweet front at the moment. Oh, Slater scored 123 not out of 184 all out at Sydney in 99.
Blimey, was that against Pakistan?
He doesn't say.
Shoaib Akhtar made a really big impression on Australia on an early tour. Shoaib Akhtar and Brett Lee once played for the same club side in the same season in Sydney. They didn't open the bowling together, sadly, but Shoaib Akhtar bowling at you and in a club game, that can't be fun. Back of a length, and this is struck Azhar on the hand, and there's still Root is still in there at the sort of deep short leg under the lid, and Azhar Ali's wringing his right hand as this. I think he tried to take the bottom hand off the bat to just try and keep it down, which he did, but then has had, I think, possibly the hand jabbed against the handle. Mark Wood's bowling quick here, which is good to see. Just struck him on the bottom thumb and just jammed it against the bat handle. It's good to see actually because Wood was bowling a bit floatily when he came back into the side, and really Mark Wood bowling at sort of low 80s isn't much use to anyone. Azhar Ali is a tough man, and just straps his glove back on, takes a walk to square leg, and is now back in his stance. In comes Mark Wood. Pakistan 44 for 1, jumps wider on the crease and outside off stump, taken by Johnny Bairstow, just crouching, fingers pointing up, and there is no run.
That Slater score was against England, apparently.
99?
According to Jeff Perkins.
I don't remember that. I don't remember there being an Ashes in 99 in Australia.
No, I think he's on glue.
It was 98, wasn't it? Unless it was 98, 99.
Don't make me look at my phone.
Oh, actually, maybe, New Year's Day test, maybe, yes. Apologies for getting that horribly wrong with a stab in the dark. That's back of a length and pushed by Azhar Ali just defensively to Stuart Broad at the sort of shortish extra cover, and there is no run.
It's Knackle that's on the glue, obviously.
Clearly. Mark Wood trudges moodily to the end of his mark. Sort of decent covering of beard into a sort of fade haircut. With,
he was good with the beard.
He does, with a bit of a sort of floppy fringe.
It's on the edge.
It's designer stubble. Yeah. In comes Wood full, and Azhar Ali comfortably forward and just opening the face out through backward point, and they come through for 2.
That is a beard.
Yeah, that's a beard.
In fact, you've trimmed it a little bit since I last saw you. Had a little bit of a tidy up there.
Not since the weekend. I may have combed it.
Yeah.
It was a
Put a bit of oil in it, do you?
Yeah, a little bit. Just to sort of keep it from bushing out. Like, as Mark Wood comes in for the last ball of his 6th over, nicely driven by Azhar Ali, nicely stopped by Stuart Broad. Another good diving stop to his left. A very athletic fielder is Stuart Broad. So no run ensues. End of the 21st over. Pakistan 46 for 1.
So Abhishek comes back and says, no, against England, Peter Such taking 5 in the 184 all out. It was New Year Test 99.
Okay, yeah, 98, 99 Ashes. Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
There you go. We're all cleared up there now.
Good work, everyone, apart from me.
Well done.
Still, it'll be Ben Stokes continuing. We think no sign of either the opening bowlers back on for a burst or indeed Dominic Bess. I don't really see what the point is in not giving Bess a little go. It's
5 more minutes.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. There we go. Finally, he's in. He is into the attack. Maybe we'll bowl 1, maybe 2 before the end of play. He's got a good chance here. Give him some men round the bat. Pakistan are not going to be looking to attack him at this stage. We see him getting his cap earlier. Always a wonderful moment to witness. I think that's Colin Graves there. I think who gave him his cap, which is a bit odd.
No,
usually
that wasn't Graves.
Was that not Colin Graves? Who was there?
It was. Oh God, it's another Somerset spinner.
Looked like the commentator from
Vic Marks?
It's a
Was that Vic
Knockout.
Marks?
I think it was Vic Marks.
Okay, that would make sense at least. Don Bess has a very good first-class record, 63 wickets in 17 matches at 22.49. People say, it's on a helpful pitch, but, that's why you produce spinning pitches. People have been complaining for years that England don't produce spinners and spinning pitches. We do have some jingles for him. We have a couple of jingles for Don Bess, and I think one that's being worked up at the moment, which was good, but got his name wrong.
Bit of mixing going on.
That was madness. Sorry about that, Don
DJ
Bess.
Dave.
Sorry about
Don Bess with a sort of dirty brown hair, sort of about 5'10" has a sort of nice loopy action, nice bit of overspin. The look of that from the first ball, and completes his action nicely. Just tossed up on off stump. Huddersfield Sahel lets this slide onto the inside half of the bat into the leg side. There is no run. There's a slip, a short leg, and a sort of shortest extra in place.
Not a lot of turn, but
No, nothing yet. There's no real footmarks out there. You wouldn't expect Lords to turn on day one. In comes Don Bess bowling round the wicket, tosses this up, nice bit of loop, nice bit of dip, pushed out to extra cover, and there is no run. He is trying to give it a rip. The revometer's back. Interesting.
46 rips.
Yeah, I think the
per second.
revometer could be quite useful if you're comparing the revs of different spinners.
how on earth can they measure that? That's madness.
Not measuring the rotation of the ball, at least. It's more useful than the reaction time. This one slides on, and Huddersfield Sahel trying to cut a ball that wasn't short enough or wide enough to cut, playing for turn that isn't there. Always a good thing, sign for a spinner when the batsmen are playing for things that aren't there. It just slides on. But he did just jab the angle back down and out to point, and there is no run. Bess has started in confident fashion. He's in now and bowls, tosses this up a little bit wide, and Huddersfield Sahel backs away to leg, manages to connect with the shot he was trying to play last time, but again can't beat point, and there is no run.
I'm loving the action. I love the way he looks at the ball before he bowls it.
Yeah, he transfers the ball from left hand to right hand about
just before then he looks at the ball.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Gather then transfers the hand, looks at it as you say, as it's just as he's coiling. Then there's a nice action with the front arm. Not hugely dissimilar from Nathan Lyon, perhaps not quite as much energy through the crease. That was tossed up and pushed to short extra. There is no run. He hasn't quite got the sort of big hitch kick that Nathan Lyon has, but he does bowl over the top. Nicely tries to give it a little bit of a tweak. That's ever so slightly too short, and wonderfully played by Huddersfield Sahel. Using the depth of his crease. It wasn't a bad delivery by any means, and it wasn't particularly wide, but Huddersfield Sahel's put this away 4-4. You only need to be a little bit off as a spinner at the top level. Just marginally short, and Huddersfield Sahel used the depth of his crease very well. He moves to 21. That is the end of the over.
Mike C. Nash says Shoaib Akhtar opened the bowling for Berkswell in Warwickshire League on injury comeback. Sharp off a few steps, haha. And Jake Gibbo is with us. He says, what are the odds of play beyond Saturday lunchtime? I now understand why Sunday tickets were so cheap.
It'll go to Sunday. I don't know if it'll go to Monday unless there's rain around.
Abhishek Sotpir says, Best, please lay the path for my man Amir Verdi.
Amir Verdi, yes. So I've seen a bowl a little bit for Surrey, another off spinner who likes to give it a tweak.
I would have gone with Verdi actually, because I think he's the form man, isn't he, at the moment?
Scandi Andy says, I'll be very disappointed if Knackle doesn't get sponsored by Loctite in the near future.
Loctite?
Super glue.
Oh, I see. Stokes in, sort of a bouncer, and Azhar Ali on the back foot, pushing out into the leg side, where Stoneman fields at forward short leg, or forward square leg rather, and there is no run. This probably is going to be the last over of the day. It's 6:29. Stokes is not a bowler who's likely to rush through. Why aren't England just trying to get as many overs in as possible here? I wonder. There doesn't seem to be any great urgency around. Pakistan 50-1, and certainly if they get to the close 1 down, it's very emphatically Pakistan's session and Pakistan's day, outside off stump and left alone. Last over before play, why aren't you making them play? What is the point of hanging it outside off stump? Azhar Ali is not a batsman prone to flirting outside off stump at the best of times.
They want to get out on the piss.
expensive points in St John's Wood.
They're rich men.
Johnny Bairstow hands on knees, I think, as though willing that ball to jump back in and take out Azarali's off stump. Yeah, they just need something just before close of play. In comes Stokes outside off stump, but forward, half forward at least, comes Azarali, just opens the face and guided to the sort of fourth slip where Josh Butler fields. He's very, very athletic in the field, as well as being a fairly decent wicketkeeper. Has a good arm for a keeper, and there is no run there with his Josh Butler with his proud Roman nose.
He's just imploring Stokesy to come on.
Yeah. Make them play, Ben. Make them play. 3 balls to go. Make them play every single one.
Oh, good ball, Shane. I always remember that.
He has a very high-pitched voice, does Josh Butler.
Yeah, I heard him interviewed the other day.
It doesn't quite work.
Doesn't look like
there's a leg
comes out of him.
There's a leg slip going in place. There's also a sort of long leg, or quite a fine deep backward square. There's a mid on, 3 slips in the gully, and a couple in the offside as well. So I think Stokes is probably going to go short here. He short outside off stump. That's a complete waste of a delivery. Absolute waste of everyone's time, apart from Azarali, who is very happy just to shoulder arms outside off stump. And there is no run. No reaction to the fact that it was 2 feet outside off stump and completely unthreatening.
No,
Root himself has gone in at leg slip, a position that Virat Kohli often puts himself in when he's captaining for India. So I think we've got Cook at first, Anderson at second, Milan at third, and Butler at gully, and then Stoneman in at sort of extra cover.
The rest of the team have put him out there. Go on, gold badge. Go and stand on your own.
Well, straight-ish. Azarali tries to leave this down the leg side. It strikes him on the back thigh pad, obviously going well over the top of the stumps, and so no chance of an LBW. And because Azar wasn't playing a shot, no chance of a leg by either. Penultimate ball of the day, we think, coming up as it's just ticked around to 6:32 p.m. We imagine so, although I suppose they could. I don't know if they'll extend play till 7 p.m. We've not heard any news, judging by the constant.
Also the weather.
No, they'll lose a few overs, but through to over rates, but not many. Also, there was the changeover, of course, for the change of innings, so you lose a couple of overs there. We'll lose maybe 4 overs, I think. Last ball of the day, in comes Ben Stokes. Does make Azarali play, but it's a shortish delivery, which Azarali plays very comfortably. Down into the crease. 50 for 1 after 23 overs. And that is emphatically Pakistan's day, having bowled England out for 184. Azarali 18 not out of 71. Haris Sahel 21 not out of 50. Azarali's just been his usual calm, collected self, has basically just been using this as a sort of extended defensive net. But the evening session in particular, and the day in general, belonged to Pakistan. They, as you said, took 5 for 19 in 6 overs to dismiss England for 184, with Mohammad Abbas and Hassan Ali both taking 4 wickets on their first Test match at Lords, with really only Alistair Cook and briefly Bairstow and Stokes looking really up to the mark. Stoneman and Milan got good balls early on. Root flashed ridiculously. Butler looked enterprising, but then he sort of went hard-handed at a ball that was moving away, as did Dom Bess. Wood was done. Wood was the last man out with a good catch, and Stuart Broad and Ben Stokes both went back to balls they should have been forward to. The one wicket to fall for England was Imam ul Haq, for Pakistan rather. Imam ul Haq LBW to Stuart Broad, a ball that was initially deemed to have pitched outside leg stump by Rod Tucker. They reviewed, it turned out to have been pitching on leg and hitting the top of middle, but Pakistan now trail by only 134, with 9 first innings wickets still remaining. And England were going to have to redouble their efforts and bowl quite a lot straighter, I think, and fuller tomorrow, I think, taking the lead from the Pakistan bowlers.
I think it's all down to Clemmy. I mean, he was the only bowler that looked like he was going to be taking wickets all day.
And yet Broad was the only one who actually got one.
Yeah, he was the one that was bowling just outside off stump, getting a lot of movement. Broad, of course, did get the wicket, and he deserved it.
His first 2 overs were dreadful.
And also afterwards as well. It was all very wide. And
yeah, Wood was intermittently threatening. And Stokes was mostly too wide of off stump, particularly in that last few overs. Don Best looked, his action looks solid. Certainly one ever so slightly short ball, really, which was manufactured shot by Haris Sahel, going very deep in his crease. But England have some regrouping to do, and Pakistan, I think, just plan is from here, just bat more and bat more, really.
Yep. So are you here tomorrow?
I am here tomorrow. Naslibu, are you here tomorrow?
No, I'm in on Saturday.
Are you here tomorrow?
I'm going to be there.
Ah, you're there on
Look out for me. I'll be looking like me.
Our friend Tasneem's been doing excellent guerrilla marketing, quite literally, on our behalf, handing out flyers at Lords.
Give me some flyers. Give me some flyers.
I think she's going to be there tomorrow, so you can get some off her.
Okay, great.
But we will be back on air at the sort of 5 to 11 or 10 to 11 or so BST. Join us again. Let's actually should check and see if the GPL was won by anyone. England were bowled out for 184. It's in one of the other tabs open there if you go to Firefox. 184 plus mental arithmetic is not my strong point, as you may know. 234 was the number of runs scored in today's play, and it's fallen.
The place we got was Lancashire bloke who had 250.
Yeah, so the GPL rolls over. We should have about 60-something pounds in the jackpot in the jackpot prize for tomorrow. Yes, you have to be bang on, no nearest to the bull or anything.
And I'll get back to what we're doing.
Please tell your friends about us. I think we'll be on YouTube again probably tomorrow, unless Facebook pull their finger out and get back to us. So tell your friends about that as well, and tell your friends about Patreon and the Just Giving page, justgiving.com, and search for Guerilla Cricket to help us bring you as much international cricket and other cricket as we possibly can do. And we will now sign off and leave you to your evening or morning or night or whatever you are doing. Goodbye.
With a Men with Ven sponsored jingle.
Three sons of the East End undertake an epic journey through time and space, all the way from Barking to Deptford.
Be there. Be there in the end. I'll be there. On that you can depend. I say a little prayer. He could never comprehend that I will be there in the end.
Men with Ven, driving from Barking to Deptford. www.menwithven.biz. Coming to a pair of headphones near you now.
Guerilla cricket. Whoa. Guerilla cricket. Whoa. Guerilla.
Take charge, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolution.